Welcome, welcome, welcome! You're here with Kuma. As you can see, the setup is a little different. The camera is here because this screen is massive. The game is in a corner. The chat screen is in another corner. The chat screen is in another corner. The chat screen is in another corner. And then we've got that monitor over there doing something we're trying to find out. So, at the moment, the setup is a little different. I'm still trying to get used to it. So I certainly hope you guys will bear with me because I know the flag is not really visible. I know you can see the PC graveyard in the background with all the screens that I've taken off. This screen is literally like this big. See, I can't even fit it. Like, basically imagine, how do I describe this? Imagine 45 centimeters like that, and then like 30 something centimeters like that, basically. It's a 31.5 inch. So, we're recording via software today instead of the Elgato because the Elgato cannot handle the DisplayPort cable. It can only handle HDMI. So hopefully there isn't too much FPS lag. And thankfully this is a visual novel, so we don't have to worry about that. So, let's jump straight into it. And luckily I can see everyone's chat, like, instantly. Like, it's right here in front of me. I think we were up to Volume 3. Oh, yes! Yes. The girl with the green stuff. The greeny stuff. I remember. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. And that thing is friendship. You are on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you are fully healed. But as Martha Stewart said, visitors like fish begin to smell after 3 days. You are almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you to next? Now we did Bronya Urusama yesterday. Sorry. So what? I'm assuming she's a woman. I'm assuming she's hand. What the hell? Why is it working now? So it muted and came back. There was a click when you started reading the first part. Okay, well, it's working now. You can use your imagination for what Kuma might have said. You reach into your pocket for your... Let's I guess, start. Let's do it again, because I know you guys will be like, what's going on? Well, it wouldn't be a stream if there wasn't a screw-up every now and then. Even though everything should have been working completely fine, but okay. Let's start again. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship. You're on the prowl for more. It would have been perhaps wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you were fully healed. But as Martha Stewart said, visitors like fish begin to smell after 3 days. After Epstein comes around. You are almost positive Martha Stewart said that. She probably did. Big fan of Epstein. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next? And I was saying something about Skylar Corriga looking like a handy woman and assuming that she's a woman and handy, and so we decided to click before we get in trouble by people get really mad. As dawn approaches, you find yourself heading out of the big city and into the rustic outskirts. Man, the sun sure is bright on this planet. It's rising over the crest of the distant hills, a huge fiery ball. The later it gets, the bigger and bigger it grows, way bigger than you've ever seen the sun on the earth. What's that smell? Could it be your flesh beginning to sizzle? Fantastic! You love the country. No wonder the nightlife seems so active on Alternia. They are all nocturnal to avoid brutal daily roasting. You reach into your pocket for your cool new shades, but you appear to have left them at your friend's house. Fuck! I'm liking this story already. You gotta get yourself together. The recent physical trauma or extensive blood loss has you a little fuzzy. You weren't built for this wilderness survival shit. Whoa, what happened? What happened? What happened? Whoa, the swearing's coming out. You're starting to wish you'd just stolen a fucking Lamborghini or something instead of a spaceship. Whoa. This seriously isn't looking good. The city is too far away now for you to turn back, so you have no choice but to keep walking. Maybe you can find a cave or a hole in the ground. Maybe you can just cover yourself with grass. You wish that someone had mentioned the Death Sun in between offering you alien meat products and calling you their muse. Off to your left, in the distance, you caught sight of what might be a shimmer of sunlight on glass. A window, a solar panel. You could seriously clean up with renewable energy on this planet. Should you change your trajectory and go towards the simmer, it might just be a mirage. I don't know, go towards the simmer. You turn your aching, stinging meat sack towards the distant promising sparkle of safety and secure. You focus on just staying upright, one step at a time, just keep swimming or whatever. God, this sun though. You need SPF 5 million for this nonsense. But then, almost like it was picked itself up to come skulking to meet you, you suddenly find yourself in front of a long, low structure. You let out a yelp of anguish, pounding on the door. At least you hope it's the door. What in the world? Ooh, she's got a lassus. Ooh, she doesn't do her dishes. Ooh, there's a microwave. Ooh, there's lassus food. Ooh, she likes green boots. The door opens and you fall inside with one of the most pathetic whimpers of your career. I had a career. Blessed darkness closes in on you. From right beside you comes a snuffling yip. Like some joker is making fun of your dire situation. Something warm and wet glides up your stinging cheek. Hold on, lady. Give him some room. A pair of hands help you sit up. Gently, your eyes haven't adjusted enough to make out more than a couple shades. One upright and one lower to the ground. Okay, what kind of voice? What kind of voice are we doing for her? Well, we have to come up with a voice. I need suggestions. Do we have a voice that we can reuse for her, perhaps? To make my life a little easier? Or perhaps do we need to develop another voice? Cowgirl. She has the Somnium Files boss vibe, or Akane Owari, if she turns out dumb. Hey, Akane is... She may not be the brightest tool in the shed, but she has heart. And that's what really matters. Oh yeah, let me just do a really bad Texas impression. Guarding here, just to let you know that due to the game's rating and mixed rules, I have gone ahead and changed your rating to 18+. Okay, I never knew Hiveswap was 18+, but okay. I guess I'm finding something out. Apparently this game is M18+. This is going to be interesting. Alright, Texas. Let's see Texas. They like to do that. Yeehaw! Okay, right. Okay, what do cowboys sound like? I don't even watch cowboy movies. Howdy, stranger. Can I do this voice? Okay, this seems to be something different. It's either working very well or very, very bad. All I know is I'm scared to get out of this voice because if I do, I may lose it forever. How's this? Does this work? Can we use this? This is working? Alright, perfect. What were y'all doing out here? Can you stand? Strong arms pull you to your feet. You'll wonder if everyone on this planet is strong, or if you are just extremely flimsy. They guide you to a chair at the end of a long table. Stuttering, you begin to explain yourself that you are an injured, exhausted traveler who is ravenous for pals. Y'all bless your heart, but hold out a tick. Dinner's about to burn. How the F do I come up with these voices? Something strange is happening in my head. Now that your rescuer mentions it, you do smell something. It smells amazing. Ah, funny you should just blunder in here like that. I was just saying, wasn't I, lady? It's been so long since we had A-sort guests who weren't Imperial drones or out to rob us. You rub at your watering, slowly clearing eyes. And when you look back up to your rescuer, finally comes into focus. She's tall. Okay, cool. She's tall. Taller than anyone else you've met here, you think. Also, maybe a little bit older. Not that you're an expert in troll physiology, she's just an air of knowledgeable competence. She's wearing a frickin' jacket and holding up a plate. There you go. Your oculus feeling any better? My name's Scalia. Pleasure to meet ya. And this here's Lady. What? What? This is a ghost? Or did someone literally cut out a newspaper drawing from the 1960s? She looks down, and at first you think she means the table. But when you look under the table, the giant monster dog looking up at you, you jolt so hard you almost fly backwards out of your goddamn chair. Whoa there! No need for theatrics. It looks like a little like one of those lassie dogs with the pointed noses. Except enormous and pure white, it barks practically shake the whole house. Hey there, lady. No need to be rude. They've clearly had one hell of a time and they don't look dangerous. Just really peculiar. Besides, if they try anything, you and me can take them. So this is what racism feels like. Scalia puts her hands on her hips, staring you down with thunderous yellow eyes. Right? No funny business, ya hear? Wow, I can practically taste the racism. You swallow and nod, trying to look unthreatening and obliging. Ready for anything. For instance, friendship. You are so ready for that. Man, we're a fucking friendship slut and a half. Scalia sets down the plate she's holding. Here, have a grub cake. Wait, aren't grubs the things that were growing in that place? So are we eating them now? Oh, okay. Cool, let's just eat children. There's plenty. I know that. There'd have to be plenty, otherwise the race is doomed. That sounds gross as hell, but what's sitting on the plate looks and smells exactly like a normal pancake. Golden brown and crispy at the edges. There's boiled tree blood too, if you like. Also churned dairy product. Oh my god, this voice is... Holy shit, this voice is awesome. She puts down a carafe of syrup and a dish of butter. Typical American, butter. Man, everything here has really weird names. Scalia pours out a cup of some very familiar smelling liquid. Brown bean juice, you guess. Yeah, brown bean juice. I'm drinking iced brown bean juice. Scalia raises an eyebrow. Is this like a southern accent? When I talk like this, is this a southern accent, ladies and gentlemen? Is this what they call a southern accent? I'm not American, so I don't know. No. That's just coffee. She sits down next to you. Thank God they have coffee. Nice accent, Kuma. I don't know where the F it came from. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I've had this accent on the back end a little while. Every time we go shopping, Hutchin is like, what should we get? And I'm like, do you want some fried chicken? That's basically where it came from. I kept saying fried chicken so many times that this accent just took its, yeah. I've been watching too much Dave Chappelle. She sits down next to you. Have you guys seen The Black White Supremacist? That's basically where it's from. That's 100% where it's from. Leighton Bigsby! Oh my god. If this was one of the old LPs, I'd cut in the video here, but YouTube being YouTube now, you can't do that anymore. Y'all lucky you were only in the light of dawn. No one wants to be out in direct Altarian light besides Jade Bloods. And no offense, but you certainly ain't no Jade Blood that I ever seen. At first, I thought you were one of those mutated lasses. Because you don't have them horns and you were grunting and yipping at the storm back there. But y'all an alien, right? Don't worry. I won't call the drones or shoot ya. I'd best get used to being around aliens anyway. They keep migrating across the border. Oh shit, I sounded like Trump there for a minute. Seeing as how I'm gonna be seeing a whole mess of y'all coming next week. Ha! Ha! Shit. My potatoes. You aren't sure what she's talking about. Do you even need to specify that anymore? It's just natural law at this point. Gravity. The conversation of energy. And you don't know what the fuck is going on. Lady, would you mind drawing a bath for our guest? No offense, but you smell like you could use one. You smell like shit. Fried chicken. Or in your case, chicken fried. I love this voice already. I'm fucking loving it. Guess Dragon Ball Z androids didn't arrive yet. Country music still exists. So true. You can't argue with that. You offer her a cautious smile. God, she seems so nice and caring. But you've been burnt before. And cut. Generally kicked around by fate. It's a tough world out there, but you want to trust Scalia. Lady takes a bucket in her muzzle and runs out into the yard, getting up on her hind legs and batting at the door latch to open it. It's adorable. The sun is so high now that the whole landscape outside is washed in white. Oh god, the dog! Oh! It's smell of you. It's sweet of you to worry. Lassie are fine going outside for a while in the daylight. Their coats reflect light. Some shit to that effect. I don't know how science works. I don't really know how the fuck it works. I didn't go to school. I ain't exactly known for my scientific acumen. See, she's making jokes that I'm making. Well, you tell her that she's pretty smart from where you're standing. As cynical as you are becoming, you just can't help trying to be her friend. She's so nice and wow, really pretty. Not that that's a requirement for friendship, but your retinas would have to be way more scalded than they are not to notice that. That's nice of you to say. But it wouldn't even really matter if I was a bona fide genius. Someone of my caste could never hope to rise up in the ranks. Best I can hope for is hustling crates on some cargo vessel. Oh, right, the color. Right. So she's kind of at the bottom of the totem pole. Looks like an adult furry game? No, I certainly hope it's not. Ranks? Cargo vessel? You swallow your bite of grub cake, ready to ask if she is thinking about joining the military. But just then, a swell noise erupts from outside the house. Shouts, crashes, and ladies' frantic bark. Skylar gasps and launches herself out of her chair, knocking over the carafe of syrup. It oozes across the table in a sticky wave. Oh no. Not now! What the hell is going on? Bandits! Goddamn lasses thieves! No good sons of bitches! You don't get the chance to ask anything else before Scalia careens towards the door, throwing up an arm as blazing white light pours in. Oh god, she's going to go outside and burn up. She isn't thinking straight. You've got to do something. Help her. What the hell? You've already experienced the Altarian sun. It sucks a whole lot. Maybe now will suck less because of how bad it sucked then. Just a sliding scale of suckage. Scalia plunges out into the daylight in the direction of the commotion, and like a big dumb asshole, you barrel out into the hellblaze after her. Surprise, it still sucks. You've had sunburns before, but this is ridiculous. This is a fucking monster of a gas giant, pointing and laughing at the tiny speck of humanity you represent, trembling before the void. It's a pure assault on all your senses. The light is almost as bad as the heat, and you put up your arms to block the glare, following the dust Scalia kicks up behind her. You doubt your eyes will actually ever adjust to this fuckery, but you can see a little better than before. There are about a dozen of them, all of them trolls, all wearing dark, padded outfits that cover their faces. They look halfway between hazmat suits and SWAT uniforms. All of them have big, fake-looking guns that probably aren't fake. In fact, one of them shoots a laser at your face. You duck, and it leaves a blazing heat trail across your cheek. But as all of you is currently burning, it doesn't really break your stride. Scalia throws herself into the fray, letting out a war cry accompanied by the sound of a fist hitting flesh. It's 12 against 2, which, if you remember your fractions right, is not unlike 6 against 1. But these guys had probably not been expecting a frontal assault, and they had definitely not been expecting Scalia, who was frantically fucking terrifying. She shoves 3 trolls down like dominoes, grabbing up a discarded gun and shooting all 3 while they're on the ground. That's some Madara Uchiha shit right there. You've never even been in a fight before, a fucking all-out brawl. It's scary. But now that you are in the thick of it, also kind of awesome. Sure, your skin is burning and you could be killed at any moment, but that's just how it goes on this planet. You just gotta get into the swing of things, take no prisoners, kill or be killed, remove kebab, hell yeah! You pop one of the bandit trolls in the face. Fuck, that probably hurt your fist more than it hurt the troll, but it does throw them off balance for long enough for Scalia to smash the butt of her gun into the side of their head. Yeehaw! Hell yeah! She gives you a wild grin. The two of you are beaming at each other while a hostile alien sun troll tries to boil away the liquid from your eyeballs, and a bunch of bandits try to dognap a giant monster. You love this girl. In a friendship way. Platonic. Like a lamp. But still, you love her. You'd make an awesome team. Another troll comes up behind Scalia and she smashes an elbow into their throat, grabbing them by the front of their uniform and suplexing them onto the dusty ground. She wails on them with her bare hands. God, she's really hot. Yeah, lady? Alright, you stumble over to where Lassus is thrashing inside a big black net. You don't have any way to cut her free, but she's already doing great on her own, biting through the fibers with her big sharp teeth. You hold out the net still for her to finish the job, then pull it off her so she can join the fray. It's over fast after that. How did they even get Lady into the net in the first place? She's so giant and quick, grabbing trolls in her jaws and shaking them like chew toys. The remaining 5 who are still jumping into their weird little dune buggies and make tracks Emphasis on the bug. They look like scuttling little beetles. Scalia chases after them for a few hundred yards, throwing the gun after them and shouting obscenities. And stay away, y'all hear? This here's my garden. Tell the rest of them why you don't ever fuck with the Rusty Ranch. She stands silhouetted against the blazing sun, the dust trails vanishing into the distance. You are awash in heady victory, giggling like a lunatic before the adrenaline kind of drains out all at once. You are violently reminded of your fucked up ribs and recent blood loss. The Altarian sun beats down and your arms are already covered in raised patches of red skin. This is a sunburn turned up to 11. Whoa there, are you okay? Scalia is swaying too. A spray of olive green blood covers her cheek. At least the rainbow blood on this planet means you can be sure it isn't hers. But she still looks rough, kind of how you feel. Lady! Come here, girl. Whoa, you're gonna sit down. Maybe just take a little break. The pale landscape swoops. Going paler. No, you can't rest here. You'll die, dumbass. I'm not letting anything happen to my new best friend. Get him! New best friend? Holy shit. That takes you so happy. You absolutely, positively, without a doubt, can die here. Not when you've just made an amazing friend. Somehow, the two of you manage to drag each other across the yard towards the house. You gotta get this lingo down if it kills you. Whenever you feel yourself about to fall forward, you lean on Scarlet. When you start to fall back, the lady is there to brace herself against the back of your knees. She's such a good lasses. You wonder if she'll be your friend too. Her muzzle is dripping with a super multicolored alien blood. When you get back to the darkness of the hive, you can't see shit. Dang, our species really ain't suited for this kind of environment, huh? You can't even see in the dark. In demonstration, you walk right into the table. You're about had it with tables. You are sworn enemies at this point. Please don't knock down my nutrition platform. I built it myself. She sounds exhausted but giddy. Dang, you really did that thing, didn't you? You kind of want to go in for the hug, but that sunburn is really something. It feels like tiny needles piercing your arm and cheeks. The back of your body is a colony of fire ants. Oh, yeah. Feels real bad, don't it? Come on, there's only one cure for sun rash. Scalia takes your hand. Gosh, this is next level friendship stuff. She leads you through her hive. Oh, I bet she does. And who knows if you're ever going to get all your vision back. Maybe you're just blind for life. You'll have to get a cane and a whimsical aesthetic and learn to navigate the world by smell alone. No, that would be stupid. Here you go. My co-op isn't huge, but you're kind of scrawny. What y'all waiting for? Take your clothes off. Man, the sun must have fucked more... The sun must have fucked more than just your eyes, because you could have sworn Scully just told you to take your clothes off. You're seriously not getting into my recouperoon in these filthy rags. I'm not even sure what these clothes were supposed to be originally, but take them off! Yeah, you aren't so sure about your looks either. Another new friend of yours told you it was rad, but you were both a little high at the time. Oh shit! He's wearing the glasses and the yo stuff. Oh my god. You might be a little high right now. You wonder if sunstroke causes auditory hallucinations. Also, you don't know what a recouperoon is. Really? And what the heck do you sleep in on your planet? You hear rustling following by the sound of clothes hitting the floor. And then a weird gloop gloop, like something getting into a bathtub, only thicker. If a troll didn't have super, well, I don't rightly know what would happen. But I reckon it wouldn't be great. It can speed the healing process for burns and small wounds. I'm not sure what it's gonna do to your weird alien anatomy, but I don't see it how it's gonna make it any worse. I tell Scalia that in your experience, things can always get worse, especially from her perspective right now. Since she's about to see you naked, nothing like a little self-deprecating humor as an A+ cover for crippling insecurity. And a small penis. Scalia laughs. Come on now. I'm sure you're a perfectly healthy example of your species. Now take him off! Just get in already. I promise this ain't any sort of pale solicitation or provocation or fornication, unless you're into that. Filthy hillbilly. Or flush, for that matter. I know it's awkward, but I got one of them poop chambers. Right, okay, yeah, you can totally do this. You can make this not weird. I mean, he's your friend. What's weird about getting naked with your friend that you just met, right? Of course, you trip taking off your goddamn pants and Scalia starts laughing all over again. Not in the mean way, more in a chill, please join me in my slime butt tub old chum sort of way. In a non-awkward way. In a friend way. The thing that gets me about this image, we don't know whose stomach that is. We don't know whose stomach that is. I'm just saying, it could be either. I hope you guys can put 2 and 2 together. Ain't nothing like friendship, like getting in the bathtub with your new friend. Every time I meet a new friend, I invite him into my room. I take him to my bathtub. I strip him down, give him a nice bath. Afterwards, I dry him off. I let him prep themselves, come into my nice bedroom with the lights dimmed and the music. They lie on the bed, I strap them down, and then I kill them for the glory of Satan. Praise be to Hope Jesus. Take this blessed sacrifice of the spare juice for your hope, Hope Jesus. And just like that, we have another voice. Just like that, we have another voice. How many fucking voices do I have? At this point, it's half a dozen. We have the Russian Natsuki. Yeah, we have the Himiko. We've got the fried chicken. Yo, dude, we've got the super chill voice. Man. And we've got the very prissy, prompty teacher. Jesus Christ, I've got 5. I think. Does that even count? Jesus, this is becoming a Nico B channel at this point. Alright. How was that? I mean, we might as well discuss it this one. How was that? By the end of this, I'm sure there will be many, many more voices. We walked in with like 3. We're already at 5. Like, what's going on? This game taught me so far that friends are assembling furniture, smoking weed, and bathing together. To the bass ends. Akane Scalia is the best girl. Yeah, it's so funny. I typically don't want to edit out live streams, but in this case, I feel that I have to, because we're doing 2 or 3 of these in a live stream, and obviously, our Hiveswap and Homestuck streams are not popular enough for them to, you know, flourish yet. So I am going to cut out each individual character in a separate video. So A, hopefully, you know, people can find them easier, and B, you know, to get some nice thumbnails and get a few people in the community of 27,000 people to click on it. And then we're just going to put some Danganronpa stripes. Because the girl that was like an emo as fuck, I think of her as Celestia. So it'll have her sprite and then Celestia. This girl is like Akane. It'll have her sprite and Akane. The other guy's like Hagakure. It'll have his sprite and Hagakure. Who else do we have? I'm trying to think. The school teacher. We'll have the school teacher, and then we'll have either that girl from Danganronpa 3, Misano, or we'll have Junko, you know? So, like, little fun to try to get some people to click on this. Because, yeah, we're streaming it, which is cool. We're having fun, which is cool. But I've noticed that the way to get people into a new franchise who are very reluctant, and, you know, I completely understand that. I'm very reluctant to get into a lot of franchises, which I then absolutely love. Just look at Nier Automata, for example. I didn't want to touch that because I thought it was a hentai simulator, and now I freaking love the franchise. So I want to spice it up. We gotta add this flavor. We gotta seize the memes of production and make this our own. We've got the voices, which is great. We've got the banter on the chat, which is on the screen. Now we're just gonna package it nicely with a nice little bow, you know, a nice little wallpaper, and then sell it to people. And the next thing you know, they're absolutely addicted. So, like, the artist girl is Angie. Yes, artist girl. How can I forget about artist girl? Like, perfect. You also had the German voice. Yeah, we also had the German voice. Totally forgot about it. But now that I've done the German voice, as soon as you say you do the German voice, I do the German voice. And then next thing you know, every time I'm at the bar, I start doing a different voice when I'm with friends. And then I tell my friends, okay, you got to tell them that I'm German, yeah? So you got to tell this girl that is clearly stupid that I am German, yeah? Because she likes German guys, yeah? And I pretend to be German, yeah? So she thinks she gets a German guy, yeah? And then the Kuma strikes again. Yeah, you see how it works? You guys are making me do all these voices. You're gonna get me into so much trouble. I love you guys. I fucking love you guys. I would never have, like, half of these voices if I didn't, like, hang out with you guys. Pick the bad ones? Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. I love how the adult themes in this just took a step up. Like, these were sort of like... Okay, this was not family friendly at all. Okay, this was not family friendly. This was definitely... You know what? None of this was family friendly. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Hey, James, man. Long time no see. Please rewatch the replay of this first section because you're going to absolutely love it. All right, friendship. On the prowl for friendship. Let's do the bad ones. We decide not to go towards the shiver. Forget it. Honestly, you could probably see this one coming. You're gonna end up voicing the whole game by yourself at this rate. Maybe you should contact the creators. That's actually a good point. We should actually tweet him. At this point, I wouldn't actually mind being a voice actor. Because I seem to really enjoy it. I seem to really enjoy it. Like, really enjoy it. I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast with every stream, honestly. I have a blast. I have so much fun with this. Alright, go towards the simmer. Let's do this. I'm still trying to accept this. This looks... You know when you have those haunted photographs? And there's like an image of a ghost in the background? This is the shit that nightmares are made of. You already know a few world-class voice actors, go for it. I know them online. I don't know them personally. I haven't met them yet. We just follow each other on Twitter. And occasionally tweet each other. You know, as you do. Stop her! Scully is bigger than you, and she has the strength of blood desperation and superior genome. You can't feel great about your chances. But you have to try. Scully is too upset to be careful. You have to stop her from hurting herself. You stumble into her house all gross and pathetic and alien, and she didn't turn you away. She gave you pancakes, for Christ's sake. Grub cakes, whatever. And it isn't just the sun. From the number of voices, there's got to be 20 people out there. She doesn't stand a chance. You run behind her and hook your arms under her, holding her back by the armpits. She struggles, jabbing her elbow into your aching ribs. Let me go, you little bastard! You don't understand, I'll take her! Lady! You hold grimly on, going limp and using gravity on your own dead weight to pull her down to the floor. Through wheezing breaths, you tell her she can't go out there. Didn't she just tell you you'd never survive if it had been later than dawn? You probably aren't making much sense, but you keep up a scrim of worthless bullshit until something catches. Would your lasses really want this for you, Scalia? Would Lady really want you to sacrifice yourself for her? Scalia goes rigid, and then all the fight just drains out of her like blood down a drain. She sags back into your arms. The two of you watch Lady thrashing in a huge black net as several of the figures haul her away. The sun is too bright to see them clearly, but they appear to be herding more white creatures out of a paddock and into a collection of vehicles. The herd! She says it so quietly you feel it more than hear it. You continue to watch as Lady is packed into one of the vehicles and they drive away, kicking up clouds of dust that glimmer in the brutal sun. You can let me go now. I'm not going to throw myself out into the daylight like a romance novel heroine. You realize just how tight you're holding onto her and loosen your arms, pulling away and sitting up. Scalia's cheeks are wet with tears, but she quickly shakes her hair into her face to hide it. That makes your heart hurt. You want to tell her that everything is going to be okay, but you make it a point not to lie to your friends. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to be. And before you can say anything at all, she gets up and disappears through a door and further into the house. Give her some space. You decide to mind your own business. Well, you do try the door, but it's locked. Best to keep occupied and do what you can for her. First, you shut the door to keep the sweltering heat and blinded lights out. I don't like where this is going. Then you tidy up the kitchen a little. Everything here is oddly textured and colored. The shape's usually organic, some of it worryingly scuttle and alive. You do your best. You mop up the syrup and straighten the chairs. You're just trying to figure out how to get the sink to spit out some water onto the dirty dishes. When Scalia comes back out, her eyes are dry and her hair is combed back out of her face. Don't worry about that. You're gonna break something. She plays with one of the beaded bracelets with nervous little fidgets on her fingers. I never could have taken those fellas by myself. Especially not in broad daylight. I want to thank you for stepping in and stopping me. I was overwrought. You nod, accepting her thanks. She doesn't seem overwrought anymore, just numb. Wow, this is actually a legitimately terrible situation. Not even in a dumb, zangy way like all the other horse shit that's happened to you recently. You wonder who those guys even were. Lasses thieves. They've come before, but always at night and never in such large numbers. So Lady and me could always take them. I never expected anything like this. They always come back in larger numbers. Like the sand people. Those frickin' sand people. We should have built a wall. For them to come out in force like this in the middle of the day. She sits down at the table, putting her elbows in a patch of syrup you missed. You offer her the dishcloth and notice several little discolored patches on her arm. It looks like she got burnt just from having her arm out the door for like a minute and a half. You're really glad you didn't let her go out there. You've endured a lot of heinous shit on your short span on this planet. Injuries, and lots of added insults to those injuries. But the time you spend with Scalia waiting for the sun to go down is some of the worst and most helpless. You don't know what to say to help her. You aren't actually her friend. You aren't even the same species. The troll-lassus relationship is a little confusing, but they seem to be some combination of caretaker and pet, more symbiotic than parent and child. Finally, when it gets late enough to venture outside, and you follow Scalia out to the empty paddock, there's nothing out there but a broken fence and trampled ground. Lots of kids lose their loci. It's just a part of life. I would have been heading into the ordeals next sweep anyway. I would have never seen her again. But at least I would have gotten the chance to say goodbye, you know? It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to terrible things happening. Then again, you guess that's sort of true on your planet too. Existence is just a goddamn mess. You try to give her the most understanding look you can. Just a really good and supportive friend face. You're killing it. But Scalia isn't paying attention to your glowing facade. She's reaching into her jacket and pulling out her phone. What the hell? My plum husk is blowing up. Oh god. Scalia drops her phone in the dirt and clamps her hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkle with tears. You pick it up. It's kind of squishy and squirms in your hand a little, which you don't love. You also don't love what's on the screen. It's a troll in a mask, holding a gun to Lady, who is still in the net, baring her teeth. The gun looks fake, kind of like a Nerf gun. You bet it's not a Nerf gun. The photo is accompanied by more of that spiky text you can't read. Hey, how can you understand the Altarian spoken language but not the written? You decide not to think about that too hard. Waste of time. They sent a ransom demand. They say that if I can't pay, they'll sell her. Troll Lucai are valued for their strength all over the galaxy. The Harris knows about the black market, but she doesn't do anything about it. She just takes a cut. You ask her how much the ransom demand is for, as if you have a penny to your name. She tells you a number that sounds stupidly large, even without knowing the exchange rate to Earth money. They're just mocking me. They know a bronze blood can't afford this. They just want to force me to fail her one more time. Oh god. Her voice breaks on a sob. You reach over and put your hand in her arm. She looks at you with big watery eyes, and you brace her for her to fall into your arms sobbing. You're actually kind of hoping for it. Not that you're the type to want to profit off another's pain, but you're pretty sure that offering comfort in a time of crisis is a first-class ticket to Friendsville. Instead, Scalia gives you a hard shove backwards. You two take stumbling steps and fall off your ass. Something squishes beneath you. A cowpat, or something alive. You aren't sure which you'd prefer, honestly. Sorry. I didn't actually push you that hard. Your species just seems pretty flimsy. I don't want sympathy right now. Especially not from you. She stands framed between the two moons, some trick of perspective making her look just as distant, and just as sad. Not that moons are inherently sad. Whatever, that's not the issue right now. Had Scalia been lying to you before when she said she doesn't blame you, she'd even thanked you for stopping her from killing herself. No, I don't blame you. I just can't stand the sight of you. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady. Losing Lady? Losing Lady. Shit. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady, and I don't think that'll ever change. Sorry. I was really hoping we can be friends. It's been a really long time since I've seen anyone out here that goes on 2 legs standing on 4. Instead of 4. But I just don't think it's gonna work out. If you try walking now, you can probably make it to the city before sunrise. Or there's a Jade Blood colony nearby if you want to infect your personal brand of assistance on them. Bye. You leave with your proverbial tail between your legs, and the last glimpse you get of Scalia, she's standing next to the empty paddock, staring at the ground. Wow. I just imagine it as, say, Cheeky, and someone stealing Cheeky. Like, I was worried she was going to hang herself. She'll probably hang herself. I think that replaying the good ending first makes this even worse, since we know it would have worked out if the protagonist let her go. 10 times worse, yeah. Sand people or Jawas? Slavery, 2 moons, hot climate. Is this Tatooine? Fucking sounds like Tatooine. It's filled with scumbags. But luckily we know that the canon ending is always the good ending, but it still doesn't change the fact that going through the depressive timeline is very sad. Like, it's a very, very sad timeline. There's no denying that. And this fucking bitch, like, at the end of this, I wonder if we will be able to brutally mutilate her face and pull out the other eye and force her to eat it. See, I just got dark for a second. I'm an animal lover. Like, I'm a full-blown animal lover. Like, are you familiar with the movie John Wick? The moral of the story: don't fuck with Cheeky. Oh boy. Oh boy. Volume 4 of Right and Wronged. It's going to be interesting. And I think I saw a purple somewhere. Yeah, purple. One of these is going to be purple. Oh my god, epilogue of Hosts and Excellent. Oh, this is the guy from that's on the chat machine. That's going to be interesting. And he's wearing a black hoodie. Wow. But he's got like facial expressions this guy doesn't. So is this guy human? It's going to be interesting. These stories are really good. They're short. They're short, they're sweet, but they're long enough to get you to get emotionally attached to a character's situation, that you can feel that sting from the sadness of the story. That's a really, really thought out story. And it's really fun because the characters are unique in their own way. This is a really good franchise. I can definitely see why people are into this. It's got definitely a colorful cast of characters. It's like a skirt. It's long enough to cover the topic, but short enough to be interesting. I'm surprised Hachan hasn't stabbed me yet. Yeah, that is how Doc got his avatar, I believe. But I still want to understand it, because I remember I saw his avatar and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then we played Hiveswap Act 1. And then I saw it. I'm like, hang on. What's this? Zetai Ryoiki. I guess. All right, let's take a quick 3-minute break, and then we'll do the next one. So we do everyone, in one go, and then I'll start editing them out one as one, because yeah, we're gonna make it awesome. We're gonna make this an awesome series. So yeah, let's take a quick 2-3 minute break to recharge, to have a quick little snack, do all that cool stuff. But yeah, let's do it. I really can't wait for you to experience the rest of Homestuck characters. Hussey just writes characters so well and knows how to make them all distinct and different. 100%. All these characters are completely different. And it goes to some very dark and interesting places. So it's not one of those, things that's, it can get really dark, like really quickly. And I like it. I really like it. My biggest hesitation was that I had to read it. And so I was like, oh, I wish it was voiced. But then, by having to read it, it adds the Danganronpa vibe of we create the characters a little differently from the other people that experience it. So we make it our own. Oops, sorry. Which makes it an advantage now. So, good. And it also makes it a lot easier to produce these. because you don't have to voice it, which is really cool. You can always voice it later, or you can have the entire community voice it their own way, and then you have so many flavors of, ice cream, which is really cool. So let's take a quick 3-minute break and get back to this. So a quick 3-minute break. I hope it's playing the music. Yeah, we'll leave it here so it plays the music. All right, quick 3-minute break. Is it playing the music? I certainly hope it's playing the music. Where's the music? Create the character, give them a development arc, kill them like a boss. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, no music. Can I put the credits and get music? What the fuck? Befriendments. Where's the musica? Literally, my entire life goal is as an author. All right, cool. All right, in that case, let's do a quick 2-3 minute break. There's no music in the background. Sorry, guys, but let's just have a quick break. All right, we are back. What's going on here? His stand, cheeky ability. If she falls asleep, then pray to your gods to give you mercy because she will kill you. Cheeky. Cheeky sounds dangerous. All right. Start! Volume 4 of Right and Wronged. Fresh from your most recent bout of gratuitous bodily injury and touching senses of camaraderie, you soldier on. You've had a few setbacks, made a couple silly choices. Boy, do things just keep happening. But let nobody say that to you. The main character are incapable of growth and change. You have made sure not to be caught in the wilderness near dawn again. You have made your way back to civilization. You can't wait to discover what new adventures await you. Adventures like friendship. Tagora gorjek or vicare ratite. Ooh. He's got a sinister looking smile, and he's got that thing, like one of those bankers. And this guy's got that Naruto vibe. Look, orange and Jesus, he's fucking Naruto. And this guy's like a cheeky banker. Cheeky banker, Naruto. Cheeky banker, Naruto. Cheeky banker, Naruto. Cheeky banker. How are we gonna voice this guy? You wander down a street in the not too demolished looking part of town, but you don't really take much of it in. You're not looking where you're going. This is an elementary mistake, especially on a planet where everything that exists seems to be on a spectrum of engineered specifically for murder to could be a weapon in a pinch, but you've got a lot on your mind. A slimy yet cool voice. This is going to be a struggle. And now, as the car, these guys probably have some ridiculous word for it, but you haven't learnt it, you hadn't noticed slams into you, sending you flipping head over feet. You add a few new concerns to your list, your bones and organs. The sound of the driver yelling, "Watch where you're going," lump squirt chugger, fades as they drive away, and you assess your situation. You stretch each limb in turn, which you've got to say doesn't feel great. You've landed in a bush which is covered in sharp spines. Your arms and legs all still work, though, and when you do an experimental cough, no blood comes out. Pretty lucky, you think? You may have just refined what luck means by this point in your journey, but you'll take what you can get. You don't require that luck will extend to the driver turning around to help you out of this bush. Your gaze meeting and sparking an intimate and intense connection that leads to a beautiful lifelong friendship. But you let yourself hope. What? After a few minutes of struggle, the answer to your camaraderie daydreams comes into focus above you. A figure outlined by the spiny leaves of your plant prison and the glow of the moons. The troll you see isn't the driver of the car, but you don't care. Your heart is beating wildly with your continued lucky streak. This music. Oh man, this is the music of like an anime character that's a son of a bitch. This is son of a bitch music. Oh god. Android 17 vibes? Oh. I'm getting, you know that guy from Tokyo Ghoul with the short purple hair that tries to be a nice guy and date the protagonist, and then you know what happens. This is some coffee cafe music while meeting a villain. The gourmet. Oh my god. Oh, okay, how would we do this? Tagora. Alright, what? Hello, you seem to have fallen victim. Oh, is that a good voice? Hello, you seem to have fallen victim to a collide and scamper with the scuttle buggy back there. Does that work? I think that works. 50 introductory fee. Have you contacted your personal legislator? If not, I'd like to offer you my services. Another voice. My name is Tagora Gorjek, but please, call me Gorgor. I'm here for you for a nominal fee, of course. What? Where the fuck did this voice come from? It's the music, man. He pulls a business card from his sleek teal vest and offers it to you with a precise flick of the wrist. His claw beds are perfect. You try again to sit up. Bowed by this offer for assistance, he's some type of doctor? Lawyer, maybe? It doesn't matter, really, because he said he was here for you. Those words go right ahead and burn themselves into the softest chamber of your heart. You start telling him your plight thus far, reaching up through the brambles towards this beacon of hope. This guy seems trustworthy, and that's not just your lack of options talking, you swear. As you shift, the moonlight shines on you. He steps back briefly, dropping the card. The one eye that's not covered by a super product-infused hair opens wide. He recovers, smothering his hand down his chest and straightening up, clearing his throat as you continue to explain. You're what? Oh yes, an alien. I knew that. I've done work with aliens before, so your situation shouldn't be an issue at all. Alien legislator stripped an extra... What? Everyone deserves an equal opportunity to be represented by me. In fact, we may be able to use this in our favor for a larger cash settlement. It all depends on our angle. Here, try moving your chug column. You're unsure why this is necessary, but you wiggle your torso, hoping that's right. You've never wanted anything more in your major existence than to follow this specific directive perfectly. Is this my fee? No, not that. You add a little hip jiggle. Not so much that he might think it's come on, but enough to say, hey, I'm friendly and I know what the fuck I'm doing. No, you're... the thing that holds up your think pan. Work with me here. You continue with what you hope is a part of a troll friendship ritual. Shiming various parts of your anatomy deeper into the bush until you get to your neck, and he clasps his hands together. There we go. That one hurt, didn't it? Definitely a case of column snap, which can get us a decently heavy restitution. Your neck feels fine, or it doesn't hurt any more than the rest of you, but you give him what you hope is a convincingly painful nod of agreement. Of course, you will need to front the initial legislature costs. We may also have to injure you further to ensure our case is convincing, but you've got to break a few cluck breast embryos to make a grublet, as you know. Oh god. Yes, I think we may make a mutually beneficial team if you're willing to do what it takes to bring about the justice you deserve. So what do you say? How would you like me to help you? He's talking really fast. You're not sure exactly what to think about your lack of funds or the idea of breaking any more bones. But that smile is sharp and shiny and pointed right at you. You want more of it. Ask him if he does pro bono work. Tell him about the heaps of money you definitely have. Friendship prostitution. Ask him if he does pro bono. You thank him profusely for his offer to help and explain that while your situation hasn't exactly left you filthy rich, you'll pay him back in glorious friendship, the most infinite of resources. You lay it on thick. He seems like a guy who can appreciate a good deal when he sees it. And you can't imagine a better deal than this. You reach both arms up, waiting for him to scoop you up out of this plain plan like the gentle baby you are. Sorry, I don't do charity. Such a shame too. I was hoping working with an alien might make for a more interesting day than usual. You're not worth it. He turns on his heel and walks away, his high ponytail swishing behind him. Friendship is not a currency. I knew that was going to happen. Bloody lawyers. Bloody lawyers! Am I right? You can see how big the screen is. This is just sitting on top of the screen. And this camera doesn't go any lower. Like, what the hell? This screen is so big. Like, Hacham was using it the other day, and I'm like, how's the screen? And she's like, it's so big. It's intimidating, especially when it's close. And I'm just like, try not to make a joke. Try not to make a joke. Try not to make a joke. This motherfucker. This motherfucker. I know, everyone's getting upset with my jokes. Look at this fucking number. Initial costs. Oh, fuck off. $900 already. Tell him about the heaps of money you definitely have. You mention how incredibly loaded you are and how core to your senses of values it is to pay well for good work. That's what we call good business. Now, get up out of that prickle phone and let's have you presentable. He watches you flail a few times before he sighs, unbuttons his sleeves and rolls them up to his elbows. Each fold is crisp and even. It takes a while, but you're good at being patient. There is a 12% cost increase for instances of mutual labor. It'll all be explained in your bill. It's itemized. I'm sure an aliens of means such as yourself will be able to handle it. You take his hand and he pulls you up out of the bush. It's kind of a rough job, but not as strong as he looks, you guess. He glares at you like he is daring you to say shit about it, and you are a quick learner. He cuts you off mid-thank you. My office isn't far from here. We can go there to get things started. And by things, I absolutely mean get you clean and sign a lot of vaguely worded yet stringently binding documents. He walks with purpose. You shake off the flora stuck in your various body parts and do your best to catch up. From the outside, his office basically just seems like his hive. You've learned a thing or two during this shitstorm of a cultural exchange, though. You gotta play it cool when a potential friend invites you home. You never know what cages or monsters or methods of evisceration they might have laying around, and you want to prepare a nice, chill look on your face for whatever carnage you're about to be confronted by. And of course, he's got... Oh, this looks like a Lassie cat. And of course, it's got to have all this stuff. It doesn't work. Your face falls to bewildered hell when you walk inside, because it's all chrome and glass and broad. White walls in there. It's like he brought the fanciest looking crate and barrel display room he could find, down to the last useless minimalist accessory. Even then, never sat down in it. His Lassus, a ferret, is chilling on an enormous silver thing that's halfway between a throne and a play tower. Everything is clean and bright at a perfect right angle. You can't see any weapons anywhere. It's fucking creepy. You ask if he just moved in, because polite conversations seem like maybe the best thing you can do. In the absence of something specific to focus your fear on, you're just sort of a little afraid of everything. You're not paying me to learn my life story, unless you'd like to. In that case, no, I've lived here most of my life. I'll go ahead and add that to your bill. Life story install. I certainly hope my exchange rate is like 1,000 to 1. You stare at one of the chairs. Blah. You stare at one of the chairs. Should you sit in it? By all means, do not make yourself at home. Head straight to my ovulation trap while I prepare our contract. So what, every fucking sentence is 10 whatever the fuck this is? You really want to connect with this guy. And you like how you just vibed there, where you were thinking about sitting your bedraggled ass in his fancy chair, and he could totally tell you were thinking of it, but you don't want to be friends badly enough to walk straight into something that has the word trap right there in its name without at least pondering it for a second. You've become savvier during all this. No entrapment, please. Take a goddamn bath. No entrapment, please. You tell him that you would rather stay away from any and all traps if that's alright. You mention that you think that's the better move for both of you. Something tells you that this guy wants to know what's in it for him. Probably all the times he's said explicitly that you do have that vibe going after all. He taps a claw on his chin and looks you up and down. He takes his time. You try not to blush, no matter how exciting his gaze is. You present a solid case. Huh? Your whole look is more than a bit repellent, but it may make the pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective if you still look like you just got run over. It takes you a second to realize he didn't just say his physical emotive response instead of doing it with his face. He's giving you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try to look as pathetic as possible. Yes, this is working well for me. Yes, this is really working for me. It's awful, completely repugnant. Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulation tactic, no matter which direction I decide to spin it. The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but you do your best to keep it up. You even hunch over a bit and shamble a few meager steps towards him. Great. Yes. That's enough. No need to come any closer. Okay then, we'll skip the hygiene and get straight to the best part, bureaucracy. Stay right there and don't get any of your crusty alien orifices near my decor. I'll go print out our contract and we can move on. Reimbursement for ink? You pretend you're a statue while he types things, then prints the things, then staples the printed things. His ferret lasser stares at you with beady interest. You stare back, completely motionless. You wonder how often Gorgo has friends over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen. Read this or don't, sign it either way. It's a standard legislator agreement, tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular station. You know you agree to submit your testimony to be judged and will accept whether subjugation you receive. You recognize that any potential winnings are to be remitted to me for processing through a local account before your portion can be dispensed to you. In the event of your culling, I will act as executor of your accounts. Blah blah, same old business. I'm sure it's the same where you're from. There are stars at each place you are to initial. Wow. 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 So basically, whatever happens, he's gonna get his cut first, then he'll give you the remainder, then charge you for taking his cut, and then if you get arrested, he's gonna charge you for getting arrested and being your represent. Like, this guy's a sleazeball. Shrunken text expense. That sure was a lot of stuff that you just got told real fast. You were trying to listen, really, but he winked at you early on in his monologue, and it really was distracting because you couldn't stop thinking about if you could incorporate a wink into a secret handshake, maybe. Anyway, regular legal jargon, yeah. Just like all the times you click to say you read the terms and conditions on any old harmless social media app. That stuff never ends up being relevant. You show off your exquisitely polished John Hancock as many times as it takes. Excellent, excellent. Everything's in order then. Did he just sign? Are you ready to head out? Oh, like now? You're not ready? Do you look roughed up enough? Will your bones need to go through any more ordeals? What's a subjugator? Does Tagora no sweep like the one you're fucking in, as they say? Swearjar, oh my god. Pardon the language, it's an idiom. It means it's time to fucking go. Oh, let's watch the... Oh, come on! You follow him out about as apprehensively as you followed him in. As you retrace the path you took not too long ago, it occurs to you to wonder where this glorious feat of justice is going to take place. And like if anyone is going to subpoena the asshole that hit you. Is that even a thing here? You skip up to match Tagora's pace and ask. There is no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetrator, of course. If it seems prudent to pin the crime on them when the time comes, I will have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. Their blood cast should be sufficient, but if it seems worth it to call in their detonal scuttlebuggy, I can certainly do that as well. Of course, that's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that either. You definitely still worry about that, but you nod and keep walking like you're not bothered. You want to match his level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it. Not that you've spent some time with him, it's simple. You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flicks over on its ass so fast you feel like the ice down your back. You look at Tagora first. He's stopped walking and his posture somehow gets straighter. Even his cute little ponytail thing looks more alert. What is going on? But he's staring at the approach of another troll, a blue guy. You know that means high blood, but not much else about what that entails. Aside from what you're picking up from the full hair-on end cat reaction from old Gaga next to you. Pleasant evening, sir. His voice gets somehow sweeter and more professional at the time. You recognize that he's feeling because you've felt it in yourself the whole time you've been on this godforsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for business boy friendship. The high blood, however, is not. At first you think he might be chill, because his smile gets huge, and hell if you don't love getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself until Tagora shoots you a be cool look. It's then that you learn that this guy's smile is not the nice kind. What's this? He asks. Gogo picked up a what? Picked up a little friend? It's not. We have a working relationship. You try not to let this dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet. It's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put on your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. You groan pitifully about all your bones. Oh right, your booming drone pursuing business. This client you have here looks shitty. Good luck getting anything good for whatever this mutant is that you scrapped up for the gristle grate. If you take a moment to consider the potential... The blue guy rolls his eyes and keeps walking, elbowing his way straight between the two of you on his way past, like you're nothing. Tagora freezes. His eyes stay fixed ahead of him, where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't processed the movement yet, even though he got knocked back a few steps in his wake. He starts shaking. Yikes, that was tense. You want to say something reassuring to Tagora, but he kind of ascended into another plane of existence. Maybe a nice reassuring part on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood. You put a ginger hand in the mere vicinity of his body and he swirls to face you, eyes narrowed and breathing heavily. You snatch your hand back fast. Mistake. You. Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what damages for slide down antisocial ladder? No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a little hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the fucking street. He starts laughing all high-pitched and weird. Up until now, he seemed so slick, so unflappable, that Gorgo is hard to reconcile with the one pacing back and forth, hollering and grabbing his face. He's pretty goddamn flapped. Oh boy, you really screwed up, huh? Maybe your busted neck routine was not convincing enough, or too convincing. Either way, you figure now might be the time to bow out, before this scene really blows up. You tell him so. Your neck is fine. Look, you headbang a bit to prove it. No, a deal is a deal. No, a deal is a deal is a deal. He breathes in slowly and through his nose. Alright, go, remember your mantra. He closes his eyes. After an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts that bonkers pace again. So you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an eavesdropping barnacle with really slow legs. Little manic gripples bubble out in between his sentences. We're headed towards justice, all right. Keep walking. We're seeing this through. I've got a bottom line to uphold. Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer-client relationship still has a chance to blossom into something more. You venture a friendly type topic and ask him about his mantra. He stops talking and looks at you like you shat on his lass's grave. You don't just ask someone what their mantra is. Seriously, what the fuck is this bill? Gonna have to remortgage. Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns his stanky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all the hairs he shook out of place during his freak-out pivots, and turns down a side street. Anyway, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill the terms of our contract. I was hoping this would lead to a more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you, for you. But it has become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. Especially now that I will have to consider the significant career setback I just experienced at your freckless hand. So instead of wasting any more of my time or yours, let's take a shortcut to the same end result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty. What? Guilty? Wait, wasn't it supposed to be the other guy's trial? You look around, panic raising in your chest. Oh, don't tell me you don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting. Oh, this is bad. You've been so caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight into the shittier part of town. You know, the part that's all half-demolished hives and creepy noises and drones flying around. Drones like the one that turn up to notice when the Tagore... Drones like the one that turns to notice you when Tagora whistles, snaps his fingers and points right at your head. Hey, big guy. Over here. One extremely malformed and unviable troll. This is the way you like it. You shouldn't feel surprised at this betrayal. Maybe, but you do, for a second anyway. Then you focus on yelling and scanning for possible debris to hide under. Tagora starts backing away as the drone gets closer. There's a sewer the next street over. You probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket. Oh, he isn't that bad. He's just this. And that was the bad ending. Holy crap. That, like, I thought that was going to lead to the good ending, but it goes all the way to the bad. My god, and we got another voice. How does this happen? How do I walk down the street and find some imbecile that gets hit by a car? I try to scam him with legal fees and becoming his What's that word? Power of attorney. An executor of his estate when he inevitably dies. And he turns out to be broke? I did all this work for nothing. That's why he wants to be executor of his estate. Because he knows he can keep racking up bills. Just look at this frickin' number. Take a goddamn bath. You're more than a little concerned about the trap part of the instructions you've just received, but hey, at least a trap you know about is better than one you don't. And with everything else you could see so freaky pristine, he has to be hiding some evil somewhere. You wonder if it's a dungeon. A dungeon could be cool. The ferret bounds down off its pedestal and jerks its head for you to follow it. You do, because it seems like a regular thing to do, and Tagora is busy on his computer. It leads you to a bathroom which is just as fancy and clean as everything else you've seen. The lassus chitters at you for a second, squirms its big noodle body around, and leaves, shutting the door behind it. You wait a second till it's probably gone before you test the handle. It's unlocked. Huh. You wonder what the point or, motive might be for leading you to this room until you turn and see yourself in the mirror. This is some haggard looking stuff right now, so fair. You're flying by the seat of your pants, but you guess maybe you're supposed to take a bath. If not, and he gets pissed and unleashes the ferret on you, at least you'll meet your maker nice and clean. You half expect some indiscernible goo or blood or something to come out of the faucet in the weird lumpy tub, but thankfully it's just water. Once you're in, you take a look at the truly inordinate amount of bath products you have at your fingertips. There are 3 shelves of little bottles and soaps and undefiable lathersome accessories by the tub alone. And there's even more by the mirror. The labels are all gibberish, of course, but you sniff a few until you find something flowery and go to town. You take more time than you should in there, but you haven't experimented an amount of luxurious solitude in a bit. Full-time friendship searching can be difficult work. It's good to recharge. Once you're freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe with some lotion you find in the iridescent vial. You hope he won't mind you using it. He wants you to be presentable, and this stuff is sparkly. You're starting to feel rejuvenated as hell, ready to knock this friendship stuff right out of the park. You leave your dirty, torn up clothes on the floor, wrap yourself in one of the many satin bathrobes folded on a shelf, and head back out to find Tagora. He's standing in his foyer, waiting with the contract he typed up for you. When he sees you, his eyebrow ticks up. I see you went with the Rainbow Drinker Serum, full body application. Bold choice. I mean, it's an incredibly rare and expensive product, and I do expect to be remunerated, but I won't lie, it works. Home! Yeah, sure, that stuff. You don't want to let on that you don't know what it is. Since he seems impressed. Instead, you give his ego a little stroke and tell him you haven't seen such a sumptuous array of self-care accoutrements in so long that you couldn't help yourself. Not everyone takes skincare as seriously as they should. I assume you were taking forever in there because you'd gotten lost, or didn't know how to use the ablutant trap. I hadn't considered the possibility that you were just doing your regimen. Noted. Rebate for impeccable skincare. Oh, thank God. You hold your arms out to admire the well-hydrated sheen you have going on. This time, you're not really even bullshitting. It just does actually look pretty good. Tagora seems like he's struggling. He keeps opening his mouth to say something, then changing his mind. He's actually culturing the documents in his hand like a flotation device. He looks down at them, then back at you. I typically only use that particular product to highlight my cheek blades, but there's no real reason you shouldn't apply it more liberally, especially if cost isn't an issue. It's a little drastic for my personal style, but there is a certain unorthodox glamour to it. The next bit looks like it hurt him a bit to get out. Would you like to step outside to see the full effect? You bet your ass you would. You're curious about what he means by effect, and this seems like more fun way than signing stuff. He places the documents down on the desk like they're made of glass, not paper. He looks up at his lasses, who just sort of tilts its head to the side. You look away and give them privacy to do whatever eyeball communication is going on. After a bit, Tagora clears his throat and heads towards the door. You don't comment on the bullish flush in his cheeks. For all the shift in his demeanor, he still seems like he might kick you out on your ass if you try to get too feelingsy with him. You start to glow as soon as you step back out into the dark front yard. Not in a light bulb kind of way, but a subtle, ethereal, luminescent, what is this stuff? Now that is a look. I mean, there is still the unfortunate side issue of your hornless and overall aberrance, and the fact that you're still wearing my Abulturn robe. But it's cutting edge, I'll give you that. You look almost like a real one. You don't know what that means, but you want to roll around eternally in the praise part. You ask if the look will help your case. Oh, right, your case, of course. He bites his lip and looks back through the window at the papers sitting on the desk where he left them. You hope he still wants to represent you, or at least that he'd want to hang out even if he wasn't going to. You don't get a chance to prod, though, because right then someone rounds the corner on the sidewalk in front of his hive. Tagora's face immediately shudders into its usual simpering mask. There's an edge of panic around his eyes though, huh? Wow, Gorjak, what have we here? It's a blue-themed troll, which, if you remember right, means he's a fancier guy than Tagora. He's grinning like Troll Christmas came early. You can feel Tagora vibrating out of his skin next to you. Who even is this guy? When he gets close enough to get a good look at you, he jumps and screeches. What the blood-boiling fuck? Tagora is frozen, the corner of his mouth pulled back to show his teeth. The new guy is ignoring him in favor of noticing that you're dressed in Tagora's monogrammed leisure wear. If his look of fascinated horror is anything to go by, you don't really know what makes you do it. You should wait for Tagora to get himself together and do the talking, but you're riding the high of him almost seeming like he was enjoying your company. Plus, nothing boasts confidence like looking like a beautiful spooky angel. So you toss your head, pull on your best fancy guy voice and say, what, never seen a real one before? You're placing all your chips on this guy knowing something you don't. But when his eyes get huge and he starts stumbling over himself to back down the sidewalk, you know it's paid off. Tagora blinks, then jumps right in, picking up directly where you left off. Surely someone as well informed as yourself knows a rainbow drinker when he sees one. The blue guy doesn't respond with anything more coherent than a string of yelps as he hightails it back the way he came. When he's gone, you turn to Tagora and ask him super casually what a rainbow drinker is. He stares at you in stunned silence. Are you telling me you didn't know? You nod. And that you ran with it anyway, exploiting the fear you picked up to turn the tide of a delicate encounter to your favor? You shrug. You guess so. You tell Tagora you hope his friend wasn't too freaked out. Friend? No, I hate that guy. There are simply times when being liked by your betters is helpful. Though typically, fearing me is just as good. Better, maybe. So, you know. Thank you? Wait, that should be a rebate. I shouldn't be paying for a thank you. Tagora's laugh is soft. It's not a sound you expected to hear. He's happy because of something you did. You can't help it. You start laughing too. That was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? It was almost fun. I certainly didn't see it coming. Anyway, I underestimated you. He gives you an appraising look, then takes a deep breath. You're so nervous all of a sudden. You feel unbalanced on the principle of what he might be about to say. From one provocator to another, I will let you in on something. I haven't actually encountered an alien before. Oh, sweet relief. You tell him his axe was airtight. And as long as everyone's doing the true thing, you admit you lied a bit too. You aren't actually rich. Yes, that's clear now. You have the inevitable ability to fake it though. That's potentially much better. Invaluable ability. Why don't we put your case on hold for the time being? You wouldn't have enjoyed the outcome of our legal system anyway. Preemptive interest? Oh, fuck off. We can find an alternate means of you working off your debt. I think we may make a better team than I previously anticipated. With our wits combined, we can tackle bigger and better things than traffic injuries. He flexes his hand at his side, and then in one swift and decisive movement, he extends it to you. His face is something close to an honest-to-God, real-ass smile. I've never actually formed a legitimate partnership of any sort before, but I believe this is how it's done. What do you say? The glow in your heart shines brighter than any expensive and still kind of mysterious lotion. You take his hand in your firm, nonsensical grasp of pure, inexorable joy, and you shake it. Friendship, just sign here. You got a friendship discount. Oh, the music plays now. That was something. And we got a new voice out of it. What the hell? This was a very interesting scenario. God, we have voice. Oh my god. So does this strike you? No, Byakuya is actually rich. Byakuya is not pretending to be rich. Byakuya is actually rich. Who's someone that pretends to be rich but is not rich in Danganronpa? Who does this guy most associate with? Kokichi, probably. Doesn't he? Kokichi. Yeah, but Kokichi keeps his cool. I'm trying to think who this guy closely associates with. I can't say Celestia, because she associates with the emo girl. I mean, Kokichi comes to mind as the first person, right? It's not like our legal system is that messed up. Oh, wait, it is. Oh, man, the legal system is messed up. Beyond, yeah. Byakuya imposter? I mean, Kokichi can lose his cool. I guess that's true. I guess Kokichi does come to mind. Oh, my neck. Ah. I wonder if I can get a lawsuit. Kokichi isn't a dick, just a clown. Sorry, what? Kokichi isn't a dick? I'm sorry, what? What? I'm sorry, what? Chapter 4, what? I'm sorry, what? What? I'm sorry, what? Nani? You wanna rethink that? Alright, definitely Kokichi. Let's take another little break because we've just done another one. My voice doesn't feel as strained as last week, so I can actually handle another one. So these two have been very soft. We had the yeehaw girl, and then we had the very soft person. Should some people sign for my friendship as well, or maybe just some people owe me some cash? I don't know. I do have a lot of lawyer friends, and I how do I say this without sounding like a dick? I know how lawyers think. I know how lawyers do checks and balances. So I always bring gifts for my lawyers when I, go overseas. I bring them duty-free alcohol. And every time I go overseas, I bring them alcohol. And that, in a very salesy, pitchy way, gives them a very positive association of, me visiting. Because every time I visit, it's very positive. And so when I do sort of need something, I sort of ask for their advice, like their opinion. Like, what would you do? I don't ask them for legal advice. I ask them, what would you do? And then I end up meeting them outside of the office, outside of work hours. And I'm basically like, all right, drinks are on me, right? So you're either buying a drink or a coffee or like a lunch or some shit like that, right? But you're basically getting legal advice for the price of a coffee or like a fucking croissant that would otherwise cost you hundreds of dollars. Because you bring them what? Like $100 drink every now and then? So, you know what I mean? So I might not be a lawyer, but I'm definitely a salesperson in a way. Kuma, what's your birthday? Or at least just your zodiac sign. This is Homestuck related, I swear. May. I share my birthday with Byakuya, so May the 5th. I'm a Taurus, the bull. That's why I'm so stubborn. Kokichi can fuck you up for shits and giggles, but he doesn't care about money profits. Yeah, you guys know my birthday. I'm not so secretive about that. I know. And Hachan is, I think, 24th of the 6th or 26th of the 6th. One or the other. No, 24. 24. Hachan's is 24. And our anniversary is on the 6th of May. So I kept our anniversary the day after my birthday to make my life easier. Pro tip. Pro tip. It's hard to forget. Pro tip. Like, if you forget an anniversary, you're basically GG'd, right? So you got to pin it to something that you'll never forget. Like, life hacks, right? Life hacks. All right, let's have a quick 3-minute break to grab a drink because I'm definitely keeping hydrated. I've got 2 glasses of water here, not 1. I'm drinking from 2 to make sure I'm hydrated. I normally don't make deals for cash. I do deals for other things. My friends give me money regardless in order not to owe me any favors. Well, I bank on favors. Like at work, I get corporate discounts because I work corporate now. And I get discounts on certain products because we're partners with things like telephones. And right now, like every time a new Samsung phone comes out, we get 50% off retail price. So the new Samsung S20 that's like $1,000 something, we get for half price. Last year when they came the S10 and the Note 10, we got it for half price. So what I basically do is I approach and I offer my friends the discount code, right? I'm like, look, I can buy one of these phones for half price. If you want, I will buy it for you. You know, no conditions or anything. I'm going to have to, get someone a coffee to do this quiz for me. But, like buy me a coffee and give me the cash for the phone and I'll give you the phone. And so I do this. So I've done this for several friends and they all have new phones. And then I've also, because they already have phones, one's given one to his brother, and one of my friends is also doing the same thing for his brother. So I'm basically, it's costing me nothing to do my friends a favor, right? I could buy this phone and flip it on eBay for $200-300. And everyone at work does that. They flip it for a few $100 profit. But I'm effectively doing a really big favor for my friends and my friends' family and all that sort of stuff. And so they're like, oh, fuck, he did me a real solid, right? And so when something like that comes into their scope, that for me would be a really big solid favor, but for them is kind of give or take, they feel like they should do it for me because I've done it to them. They reciprocate it. So you could call that manipulation or friendship or mutual gain, but by me not, cashing in on something that's more valuable to someone else, they're going to give me something that's more valuable later instead of cashing in. So in a way, you can call it friendship that's mutually beneficial. But like a lot of my friendships are like that. Like, because I worked in the real estate industry, whenever my friends have issues with, tenancy agreements or something, I basically guide them on it and how to represent them. Or when my friends buy something and it doesn't work or something expensive, I know how the consumer law works, so I can basically navigate them through that minefield. Like I've even gone to Australian government commission places to basically fight on their behalf, like a lawyer would, but for free because I've done it so many times. So stuff like that, right? So I don't know if you call that being manipulative or being a salesperson or friendship, but like that's how I look at it. I basically do favors for my friends and they end up doing favors for me. But when it's something that's more than a favor, like when it's actual work, instead of paying, I end up, getting mates rates for buying them shit. Like I wine and dine my lawyers a lot. Like all my lawyers get like a fucking bottle of booze every time we go to Japan and back. Because there I can buy like, I don't know, I used to have it here. I used to have the Yamazaki whiskey. Yamazaki whiskey in Australia is $200 a bottle. In Japan, I could buy it at the supermarket for 40 bucks a bottle. So I buy it for 40 bucks, I bring it here, I give it to them. To them, it's $200, and wow, to me, it's 40 bucks. And like, yeah, I thought of you when I was on my holiday. So they feel great. I'm in a good position when I need them. Like win-win. That's just good business. That's how you keep a good business relationship. I just do that with my friends. Like that's the difference. And you guys are not listening to me. You guys are just talking about your own thing. Fair enough. Well, like, I don't mind. I can actually read this. Kuma, based on your zodiac, if you were a troll, you would be a bronze blood. Well, probably. That makes sense. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I would say that I'm pretty, like good for manual labor. So, I would be a bronze blood. It looks like I would be a bronze blood. Oh well. Oh well. But I'm a stubborn bronze blood. I would be a stubborn bronze blood. My favors aren't light. I do something they can't do. They do something for my entertainment. That's how it normally goes anyways. When you say they do something for your entertainment, why do I have like this image of this, sleazy music and like a pole in the middle of the living room? What's going on, mate? James, I'm getting worried. What are they doing for your entertainment, mate? What's going on here? Are you doing like the Godfather things? Like, I make you an offer you can't refuse. I do you a favor. Being bronze isn't so bad. I wish to be jade. They're nicer and I like taking care of children. Fish and just a-holes. I'm still learning what the colors mean. I just imagine the same thing in a slightly different way. Yeah, when someone says you do something other people can't do and they give you favors in return, you automatically think like, One Polish vodka brand is so valuable in Japan, you can travel around Japan for a few bottles. Oh yeah, alcohol is a currency. I know when I come through the duty free in Australia, like, okay, this is funny. I bought a $10 bottle of whiskey. So they've got different grades. They've got the really good ones, which are like $40, $50 in Japan. And they have like the $10 ones, which are cheap, right? I walked through the duty free. They're selling that cheap one for $110, tax free. With tax, it's like $150. The $40 one sells for like $250 in stores because of the tax. And you buy it for $40 in the store. But it's insane because of the alcohol taxes we have here in the West. But like I look after my friends pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? I look after my friends. And a lot of my friends consider me pretty much one of their closest friends. Like I was just best man in one of my friends' weddings, and I was, shocked that he considers me such a close friend. Like I consider all my friends good and I treat them all pretty much the same. I treat them all, like I would want to be treated. And they consider me one of their best friends. Like in all these circles, they consider me one of their best friends. And I'm like, why me? What makes me so special? And, they say all these things like you're loyal, we trust you, you've got my back and like all this shit. I'm like, yeah, but dude, like you would do the same for me, right? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was, if shit went sideways, you'd be there for me, right? You know what I mean? Like, if I called you at 3 a.m. in the morning and I was like, shit, I've just been, something, you'd help, right? I've had it happen a few years ago, though. Shit did hit the fan, and I had a few people that I thought were close friends, And the thing is, they didn't help me. And I was like, okay. And so those friendships basically, you know, those friendships dissolved. They basically dissolved. I did have one friend that was really good, and I'm really close to him to today. And a lot of people ask me, why are you still friends with that person? And I'm like, when everything went sideways, he was the guy that at 3 a.m. in the morning met me in the middle of the city when I needed him. Whereas no one else did. So I don't abandon my friends. And they're like, but he's this, but he's that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, why'd you bring him? It's like, because I don't abandon my friends. I don't turn my back on my friends. Like, I vouch for him, right? So it's like, you know, treat him how you would me. He's a good guy. Yeah, you don't understand him, but that doesn't change the fact that he's a good guy. Like, you know, like, that's just how I am. Oh god, no, I didn't ask for pole dancing. And it's up to them to accept the deal. See, now you just make me more curious, James. What are these deals? What are these deals? You're sounding like a crossroads demon. I will fulfill your wish for your soul. Like, what are these deals, James? What are these deals? Slavs are loyal as fuck and bite hard when they get betrayed. Oh, man. People that... Like, if someone doesn't like me, I don't care. I just accept it. But if someone pretends to like me... Especially if someone, like, stabs you in the back. Fuck that shit. That's like 1,000-year war type of shit. But that's what really kills me, because a lot of people aren't like that. I always grew up assuming that people were just as loyal and honest as I try to be. I'm not perfect, but I try. I try my best. Like, I absolutely genuinely try my best. I will probably say the wrong shit at the wrong time, but my intention isn't to do something against you. Like, I may, like, accidentally step on your feelings, but it's not because I dislike it. It's like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Or I didn't think that one through, you know? But it's not like, oh, I want to hurt you. It's like, oh, shit, I should have probably phrased that a little differently. Like, yeah. But then again, all my friends come to me for an honest opinion when they want the truth. So I guess, in a way, I'm basically the guy they come to before they propose to marry someone. And I'm like, you're putting a lot of pressure on me, man. They're like, all right, give it to me straight. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. My girlfriend, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. He's like, what do you think of her? I'm like, you want her psychoanalysis, don't you? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, all right, here's how it's going to play out. I just lay it out for them. Yeah, I was actually interested in studying psychology, but the thing is, you don't get paid much as a therapist. You don't get paid much as a therapist. Okay, this is why I don't trust other people with serious problems. I have a few people now, luckily, I can trust. But, funnily enough, these are the people that have also been betrayed and seen some shit too. So I found that people that really... that I'm really close friends with are the types of people that know how to value friendship because they know what it's like to not have real friends. So, in a way, you could say that we're all damaged. But that's a part of life, right? It's part of life, right? I like how James is being very silent after asking him if he's a crossroad demon. Hey, Scent Man, how's it going, buddy? We're just discussing what James does, you know, in the middle of the night when people put, what is it? What do you put in the crossroads? What do you need to summon a demon? I forgot what it is. I've watched enough Supernatural. I should know this shit. Oh, good stuff. If you want to trust people, test them first. Well, yeah. Now I test people regularly. I subconsciously test people. I've become so paranoid that I do test people, like a lot. Like a lot. I never really realized, but I tell people things in different ways. So I tell people the same story, but I tell some people details that other people don't know, and then I tell some details to other people that the other people don't know, even though it's all part of the same story. And then in the end, if someone knows a certain detail, I know where that information came from. That must be my paranoia of being a Slav. Just take the compliment, Vegeta 2020. The body of our enemy, because then you need no demon anymore. Oh, the body of your enemy, because then you don't need it. Yeah, that's the one thing that got me with people with Crossroads demons, right? Like in a lot of these episodes of Supernatural, you have these people that are like, I really want vengeance on this person. I want you to kill them. And you give me your eternal soul for damnation. Yes, it's like, well, if you're fucking giving up your soul anyway, why don't you just kill him yourself? Like, you know what I mean? And then you've got the chance to be redeemed. You get me right? And it's just like, I find you weak. Like, you want them dead, but you don't want to do it yourself. Have you seen Lord of War? When the guy gets the gun and is like, this will be a bonding experience. And is like, you think I should let him go? And is like, no. It's like, so you do want him dead. You just don't want to do it yourself. It's like, just look at Discord, Kuma. Damaged Goods Squad. Seems to be. But then again, it is what it is. The world is what it is. But hey, it's a good group of people, and I feel very comfortable speaking openly because I basically trust you guys. You know, you guys have been around for so long, and you've shared so much about your personal lives and experiences, some in public, some in private, some in certain threads. Like, I remember so many stories from you guys that I'm like, well, you know, I share stories too, so there's a little bit of that camaraderie and that community that exists. And yeah, people from the outside might say, oh, wow, these people are really damaged. It's like, You self-proclaimed undamaged person? It's people like you that create a society that damage kids in the first place. And then you judge them for it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's easy when the blood isn't on your hands, but your knife. That's a really fucking good thing that you say. It's easy when the blood isn't on your hands, but your knife. That's a really, yeah, it's like, oh, it's so easy. Like, the one thing that I liked about the first episode of Game of Thrones was when Ned Stark says, the person that passes the sentence should swing the sword. And I think that's a really good one. Because, it's so easy. It's like, yeah, executed. It's like, it's just a paper, right? But if you're the person that has to do it, you really gotta consider beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the right decision. It's really easy to say, kill him. How about you do it yourself? I mean, there's gonna be some people that are fucking ruthless psychopaths, yeah, but I reckon the amount of people that would get murdered would be significantly less. I've never heard of it that way before, but that's a really good way to see it. It's an amazing way to see it. Yeah, you can bury the knife alongside the body, more difficult with your hands. Kuma takes his friends' candidates to IKEA and tells them to assemble stuff that will summon Cthulhu, if you somehow pronounce the name. True friends will help you assemble IKEA furniture. Yeah. No. One of the experiences I had, and I grew up in a household where I wasn't allowed to, you know, like get anything dirty or leave marks on the walls or the carpet or anything like that. And I had friends over for like New Year's, which was something that I was reluctant to do because I know there would be alcohol and food and the likelihood for things to get messy is high. And then they were asking, like, you know, I'll bring my girlfriend, but my girlfriend will only come if like her best friend can come. And of course the best friend is always single. I'm like, all right, fine, the best friend can also come. And so the best friend's best friend. So anyway, long story short, it went from like a group of 10 people to a group of 25 people. And I was pretty much like manning the kitchen the whole night, cooking burgers for everyone, making sure everyone's fed. So we had a wave of people come. The 10 first people came. Everyone was like full of barbecue outside. But then people started coming later and later, you know, because like fashionably late. And I was cooking burgers for everyone. And then by the end of it, I was absolutely exhausted. And I fell asleep at like 2 a.m. on the couch. Like we were playing card games and shit and I just dozed off. Anyway, I wake up at like 4 a.m. when people are basically leaving. And I'm like, whoa, what happened? And I look around and like the cups and everything were basically all in the kitchen. The stuff, like, they basically cleared everything up, put it in the kitchen sink, put some water. I'm like, whoa, 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 I was gonna clean it. It's like, no, you rest, you were cooking all night. And they all left, and I was like, dude. I was like, dude. You know what I mean? So, like, good friends. Good friends. Those are good friends. Those are good friends. All right, let's take a quick 3-minute break and continue with the next one, yeah? Let's continue the next one. I really love these conversations that we have. I really fucking love them. We used to always do them on the Let's Plays, where I used to have them sort of with myself, and then I would read the comments and then talk about the previous comments. But now we have them here, which is really good. This is what I really like. This is the community meshing part. You were expecting a horror story? That was nice. What were you expecting? I woke up and I was like, there was a body or something. Like, what kind of people do you think I associate with myself with? One time I asked a silly question about being friends after an extended period of contract, but that was my really somewhat odd, vague way of saying I feel close to this group. Yeah, I was worried for a second, but glad it ended well. You guys we've been playing this game so much that we're getting paranoid. It's like, oh no. And then he went to sleep, and then his kidney was missing, and he woke up in the bathtub filled with ice. No, but basically the place was trashed, yeah. I had flatmates, and I've got like one katana, like another katana, and a collection of other Japanese things, and like they would bring friends over and they would play with it, and I was like, I would notice that it's out of place. I'm like, guys, you gotta be careful with this because it's actually sharp, and this will cut through a limb like butter. Like, it's fine to look at it, but handle it, with more delicacy than you would a butcher knife, because if you drop this thing, right, and your foot's gone, basically. Like, your leg's fucked. Like, you're gone. But they always say, oh, we never touched it. I'm like, the fucking katana's upside down, you dipshit. Like, you think I'm stupid? Sort of thing. But these guys are really good. So, I guess in a sense there might have been a little bit of fear that if they fucked up the place, I'd throw them off the balcony. But it is what it is. All right, let's take a quick 2-3 minute break. A body has been discovered. Well, we don't have to buy any more paint, am I right? All right, quick 2-3 minute break. I'm going to recharge some of the waters, and we're going to get back with Hiveswap Friendsim. See you in 2 minutes. Bam, 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 bam. Ooh, yes. And after this, we'll start building that new computer. I've got all the parts. I don't know if you guys saw the photos on Twitter and Discord. All the parts are sitting in the living room. I'm gonna borrow Hutchon's little Osmo Pocket that she uses for her vlogs, put it on a tripod, and start building the computer, which is gonna be a little bit of a monstrosity. Originally, I was looking at a budget of like $1,200, $1,300, and it kind of blew out to a $2,400 system, which is gonna be really good, but Almost double the cost of what I budgeted. But, like, it can basically handle gaming in 4K resolution. We can't stream 4K, and recording 4K is insane. But we can do 2.5K, which is what they call DisplayPort 2K resolution. You know, 144p sort of thing. But we can't do it with our capture card. Our Elgato only has a HDMI, which is 1080p. So we're going to see if the computer itself can, with software capture, do 144p and play the game at the same time. Because a capture card is $600 extra, right? Like, that's the price of a graphics card anyway. So what you're basically risking by the computer doing both is the graphics card basically dying, or the CPU dying. But the capture card's $600 anyway, and it's built to fail after a year. So, fuck it. Given that it's midnight where I live, I'm tired, but otherwise, descend. I hope I'm not keeping you up too late, but I'm sure you'll get a good sleep after the stream. After you finish playing this game, you should look up the song names. I ask people for simple stuff mostly, like a flash drive that can wipe both itself and the computer if not handled correctly. I use my own stuff for testing. Don't plan to use that stuff. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta ask my mate for a Windows 10 flash drive. That's the one thing I forgot. I think he gave me a Windows 10 flash drive. But if I don't have it, I will just ask him for one. My friend's Russian, so like whatever you need, he can get it. Like, motherfucker, man, he can get it. Really smart guy, like overqualified. Unemployed too. Central's on the Twitch. Nice with Raisu. Alright, let's begin. Number 3. So we've done volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. We're up to volume 4 of right and of wronged. Fresh from your most recent bout of gratuitous bodily injury and touching senses of camaraderie, you soldier on. You've had a few setbacks, made a few silly choices. Boy, do things just keep happening. But you let nobody say that to you. The main character are incapable of growth and change. You made sure not to be caught in the wilderness near dawn again. But you made your way back to civilization. You can't wait to discover what new adventures will await you. Adventures like friendship. Vicare ratite. Like I mentioned before, this guy's giving me Naruto vibes. You like to see what all your friends are capable of? Me too. So, have you made a friend yet? I think this guy's making so many friends. Alright, this guy's giving me Naruto vibes. Why? Well, obviously orange. Obviously the glasses, little, like, thingy yet. I just don't know what voice we should give him. You guys gotta help me out what type of voice we need. It's probably best for you to stop trying to predict what's going to happen to you at this point. Everything's happened so far on this planet has been kind of chaotic. In fact, you're ready for something more familiar. You head back to the site of your abandoned spaceship. Sure, it's smashed beyond repair, but it's a little slice of home. Maybe at least 1 or 2 pieces of it are fixable. You march off in what you think is the right direction. But when you get there, you're not alone. A little guy in a hat and big goggles is standing there, gazing at your spaceship, maybe assessing it. As you watch, he breaks off a couple of gears and stuffs them in his pocket. Hey! You clear your throat loudly. Naruto voice? I don't have a Naruto voice! It's too high-pitched for me! He's got that Naruto vibe, though. Texas voice? Why, chicken? What y'all doing here? Good galloping gravy. Why, I've never seen the likes of you before. What strange wonders the heavens have rained down upon us today. You'll quickly lose any indigestion you were building up. He's smiling at you, and his words seem at least somewhat amicable. Maybe you got this all wrong. Maybe this is the next person you're going to get chummy with. You cut right to the chase. No point in beating around the ground leaf covering. That's probably what they call it on this planet. You let this guy know that you're the proprietor of the spaceship he's stripping, and you're in the mighty need of a new friend. A friend, eh? A bosom companion, a pal about town. I've seen Raya Toman. Dickus or Harry around these parts who would fit the bill. All good Central, all good Central. You can look, you can look. You were kind of trying to imply that this guy could be your friend. Is it too late to say that now? You try to imply it with your eyebrows. Yes, for me, day-to-day matters here on Alteria interest me not. For I care only about hurling at the great speeds through the boundless expanse of the cosmos. And we've got a Kaito. That's right, space. It is spaceflight that consumes every waking thought of my adore. As in accordance with my duty as the future Alterain Crusader, of course. No oxygen, no wind, a total vacuum. That is the life of me, alright. Flying in space above the atmosphere, not within the realm of gravity's purview. Wouldn't have it any other way. I was half expecting he wanted to be the next Hokage, but this will do just as well. Right, you get the feeling that you're missing something. This guy seems really defensive about his interests in spaceflight. Like maybe he's trying to say something totally different? Whatever it is, his internal conflict clearly takes precedence over your issues. He seems like a great candidate for a friend despite the fact that his voice sounds like it belongs over a newsreel about World War II. I have just one query for you, sport, if I may be so bold. Do you, also like spaceflight? Do you yearn to see the moons shining above, the clouds whipping by as you chase and tease the impelish western wind, and then also keep going past that up into space? Tell him you love spaceflight. Tell him you're not so sure about spaceflight. I am not so sure about spaceflight after Danganronpa. His eyes widen. You see them sparkle? Ah, I see. You're an individual with a more, sophisticated palate. A real connoisseur of the banquet arts, you are. Someone like you could never be satisfied with an anemic affair of traveling through the inky blackness of galaxies. I believe a jaunt to my hive is in order. Let's get a wiggle on. There was a lot going on, but you understand that he wants you to follow him? Nani? The friendly guy takes you to the building where all the rooms seem to be balanced on spindly-looking sillets. The hive soars above you into the sky. He gestures to a little platform attached to a pulley system, like a rudimentary elevator, and brings you up into a small dark room. Oh, wow. Cool. His house is pretty much what you would have guessed. The walls are covered in star maps and pictures of spaceships. You notice that many of them have clearly slogans splashed across them, saying things like, explore the galaxies because you're required to fulfill your duty to society, and enlist, the Empire needs you. Travel, make friends, don't get cold. Your new friend doesn't seem too happy as he looks around the place. Just the hive for a dedicated spacecraft enthusiast, isn't it? You nod, you're not sure what this is leading to, but no one ever went wrong relying on non-specific and plausibly deniable argument. Who am I fooling? You've rumbled me, potential new chum. What you see before you is a collage of falsehoods. I'm nothing but an aviator of balcony. In truth, the myriad temptations and desires of space do nothing to tickle my biscuit. The thought of participating in the glorious external conquest gives me the screaming mimmies. My interest lies in something a little lower down, if you know what I mean by chicka wow wow. He reaches up and peels one of the posters. Behind it is another poster, this one showing a view of clouds in the night sky. Behold my shame! The truth is, I long to toss and turn within the grasp of Mistress Gravity's sweet fingertips. To traverse the sky, can such a thing be? Imagine flying within the confines of Alteria's very atmosphere, defying the very conventions of what we all know to be true. Instead of down, up. Instead of falling, soaring. Can you imagine? Can you see it before you? Could you ever dream of existence of such a flying machine? Tell him you've never heard of such a thing. Ah, but the failure is ours to build. my straightly huge and unhorned comrade. He just called me comrade. You get a slice of Ukraine. What do you think? Does it excite you? Do my ideas rattle your buttons, rustle your jimmies, tickle your fancy? You can't help but notice that he's referring to you as chum and comrade, but friend hasn't made an appearance yet. Do synonyms count, or is this just a tick of his speaking style? You look as earnest as you can and nod vigorously. You are almost positive that this is the thing he really wants you to express interest in. Aha, the truth will out. You and I share this furtive passion for the indulgences of the air. A dialogue between a troll, a flying machine, and the stars. But further away from the stars than we would be in a spaceship. I cannot stress enough how different of a thing this is. You can't decide between nodding and shaking your head here, so you furrow your brow and do your best to look thoughtful. Like maybe you are contemplating the differences? Sort of? Oh, I don't know. This fellow's demeanor towards you is definitely shading to the more temperate climate zones. However, certain physical needs are starting to assert themselves. You're still pretty banged up from your previous adventures, but right now the aching of your stomach is screaming for attention. How long has this guy had his ribs broken for? This is ridiculous. You humbly ask your friend-to-be if there might be any chance of getting a bite to eat. Ah, he's hungry. But of course. Why, if I'd known you had a rumbling in the old digestion ballad, I would have shut my yapper tooth sweet. Time for a good old nosh. A yummaroony. What a ho. Now, how should we obtain the victuals? We could venture into the great unknown, which is to say out of my hive. Or we could stay here, behold to whatever twists and turns Lady Fate has in store for us in the nutrition block. Or we can use one of these phone doodad applications to use that Eatser app, where every third eat you say it never arrived and you get a full discount because that's what your co-workers tell you about. Holy shit. My friends are messaging me. How to act like Sasuke. Can you see it? This is absolutely ridiculous. Some people are actually trying to... Recommended read. Jesus Christ. Maybe I should react to reading this shit. Who does this shit? Life hack. Acting like Sasuke. Step 1. Pretend to be a girl on her period. Step 2. Scream, Naruto! Every single... My flatmate is called Daisuke, and I'm just like... so close. Because if he was named Sasuke, like... You know what I mean? Like... You know what I mean? Damn. One of these days. One of these days. Or we could just stay here, beholden to whatever twists and turns Lady Fate has in store for us in the nutrition block. What do you say, new timer? Go out and look for food. From your budding chum's words, it feels like he himself isn't sure if there's any food in the house. Best to risk it and go outside. You tell him your decision. Top choice, buckaroo! WikiHow is money-hungry people pretending to be autistic. Foraging is how I while away most of my time, after all. There's just one small matter to trouble the old brain power. If we're venturing out into the unknown wander, we should obtain some chow for my lasses as well. He'll be real grumpy Gustav if he goes too long without his nosh. You draw yourself up proudly. It takes a lot of bizarre run-ins and howling close shaves, but you know all about Lassie. You inquire about Gustav, was it? Ho ho ho, what a card you are. No, my lasses. I call him Canary. He whips out a photo. It shows a smaller version of himself. His horns nothing but stumps. A far too big pair of aviator goggles slipping off his nose. Standing behind him is a large white owl. Big, scraggly wings folded back against his body. You want to say an emu? Whatever it is, it's definitely not a canary. Its beak touches the top of your pal's head with something that might count as affection. He's not a persnicky sort. All kinds of bugs and leaves tickle his fancy. Shall we away? Shall we greet the horizon that rushes forward to meet us with outstanding grace? Shall we give ourselves over to the current of time's great river? Surely, you tell him, you can leave the house. It's getting a lot easier to pay attention to only the words this guy says that actually make sense. You kind of enjoy his way of speaking though. If nothing else, it gives you the feeling that he's really excited about his food quest you're going on together. Your alien power leads you back down through the pulley system and outside again. The trip is not easy on your bruised ribs. The thing about walking is when you walk, your body moves. You've been better times, but it's all you're saying you indicate as much to your companion. I'm sorry, what? You've had better times is all you're saying you indicate as much to your companion. What the hell happened to my brain there for a minute? My brain just went, and we're off. Have you guys ever had that when you're reading and you just basically like, just keep reading and... What? Oh boy, I hear ya. Moving while attached to the alternative service is the worst kind of hoo-hay. The movement when autonomous flight is inevitable trembles even closer to this present. Can you hear it approach? The wail of a distant klaxon. The call to adventure. It beckons us forward through the years, a golden tread stretching ever onward to the glorious inevitability. That's not what you meant, but his excitement cheers you up a little. Maybe you will feel better in the future, when someone invests flight machines on this planet. Oh, you guys have had it happen plenty of times, it seems. Oh, okay, I'm not the only one. I was getting worried. I thought I was just really slow. Like Kaiba. Certainly, by the time either of you... But... Certainly by that time, you'll either be further along in your healing or dead. Either way, thinking about the future brings a little rosy glow to your heart. You ask your buddy where you're going to next. The world is our bivalvular sea crater. We'll go wherever the wind calls our names. He's making Naruto and One Piece references already. All he's missing is bleach. Great. But if it's a short-term answer you're inquiring after, there's a specific plant the canary likes to eat. It's got white petals and leaves as red as a troll's most lurid desires. Could you give me a holler if your bulbs fall on something of that persuasion? You agree to keep an eye out. You continue trudging along beside him, wincing whatever your steps jolt your injuries. Maybe a little conversation will help distract you. You ask your new friend what got him so interested in flying in the first place. What could be better? Up there, free of worldly concerns. The wind in your face and the horizon at your back. Seeing the contents spread out below you. Finally, feeling that your personal aesthetic is appropriate for the given circumstances. You chew over this for 1 minute or two. It seems like what really makes this guy tick is the travel and adventure thing. Or maybe that's just what you're getting from his general demeanor, and pretty much everything he's said up until now. You're nervous to bring up anything that might make him dislike you, but in the interest of bonding, you forge ahead. Aren't there, you say with apprehension, maybe some similarities between flying and space travel? Like maybe being in a spaceship could satisfy some of these urges? What? There may be some superficial similarities to trick the common troll, but in essence, the blood pusher and the soul of each. As different as night and day, as a mountain and a ditch, a star and a mud puddle. Don't get a fella wrong, space travel is fine. Well, it's the only way to satisfy our bloodthirsty and nearly immortal overlords. And I look forward to such a time when I can be of service in the internal milestone grind of intergalactic conquest, but it's missing the puzzle. The pizza! Bazzass! And just like that, I want pizza. Shit. The kaboom! The trust beast honk of all. Just as you feared, you've stepped in it now. You're struggling for a response when out of the corner of your eye you spot a cluster of white flowers. Relieved, you point them out to your companion, who races over to gather them. But when he holds up, you could see it has blue leaves, not red. Your shoulders drop. Looks like all you're doing is disappointing your buddy, who has been so nice to you. Or at least that's what you think you've read between the lines of his confusingly speaking style. Fear not, my smooth-headed compatriot. These are not the lastest rations we sought. But this plant is people chow. What I mean to say is, we can eat it, since we are people, and it's food for people, not food made of people. To be clear. I like this guy. He comes back with a fistful of flowers and hands you one of the blue leaves. You're not at all sure what food that's safe for your buddy will be safe for you as well. But at this point, you don't have much to lose. Besides, with the way your stomach is growling, it might as well be perfectly seared steak. You put it in your stomach. Chewing on the leaf, you feel even more affectionate towards the guy than before. You were worried this trip was just turning into an excuse for him to run some kind of household errand, but he really did find you something to eat. You are desperate to find some way to show him that you understand his interests. You want to connect to him on a deep soul level. Anything to get him to look at you with that treasure glow of friendship in his eyes. Whatever he mentions space travel, he talks about how it's something that he has to do, some kind of necessary obligation. So maybe there's a reason he's fixated on activity that is kind of similar, but just a little bit different. Maybe he doesn't want to do the required thing, the space conquest, but doesn't have it in him to rebel entirely all the way. Maybe airplane flight or whatever similar thing he is envisioning is a compromise between what he has to do and what he needs to do. A balance like that must find in order to live as an individual in a society that shapes one's desire from birth. You can cautiously open your mouth, heart pounding, you venture to ask your pal if he will, well, if he, maybe would rather not satisfy the demands of the bloodthirsty overlords. If maybe a part of him wants to get into his flying machine and, well, leave for real. He seems taken back. Maybe you should have never said it. What a huge mistake. You've probably pushed his friendship out of your reach for good now. Panicking, you point to the side, yelling that you see a big field of white flowers in the direction. Your potential friend leaps to action, seemingly also glad to be given a reason not to answer this question. He rushes forward in the direction you indicated. In a matter of seconds, there's a yelp, and your new acquaintance vanishes. Instantly, you realize your error. You didn't look where you were pointing. While walking, you unwittingly came close to the edge of a large cliff, which your companion has now disappeared over. You race to the side, your stomach flooding with fear. That is the absolute opposite of what you wanted. You look down in horror. Your friend now looks approximately how you felt when you first crash-landed on the dark planet. He's conscious, his face frozen in shock, but one leg is twisted underneath him in a nasty way, but you may not be familiar with alien anatomy, but you're almost positive that it shouldn't look like that. You'll call out to him in distress, make sure he's going to castrate you for your mistake. The strangeness of his language won't make it hurt any less to lose this guy's trust forever. What ho! Kalu Kali! His voice floats up from the ground below, weak but somewhat jovial. Is it possible he's not angry? Oh, joyous happening. Oh, delight for the body and spirit. Did you see? Did your being absorb what occurred before your very visage? I flew! Soar through the air. Just for a moment, but it happened. An ecstasy like nothing I've ever known before. You hesitate. Is it really possible that he could be taking this so well? That maybe your big fuck up was a step in the right direction after all? I don't know, just go with it. It's definitely a little worrying to hear him celebrate a dangerous fall, but none of that matters if you can secure his friendship at least. My strange associate, come on down here. We will celebrate in grand fashion this eve. How did you know that a brief sojourn through unfettered air would bring me such joy? You're a fine fellow, and a truly splendid friend. Your heart lifts with joy. He said it. Of course, you now have to find some way to climb down a cliff with your messed up ribs, not to mention figuring out how to transport someone with a broken leg to the house. You're not really sure if that's possible or when the adrenaline that's got you this far will give out and force you to succumb to your own pain. But with a night full of difficulties ahead of you, you couldn't ask for a better balm than knowing you'll face them in hand with your new friend. Assuming he didn't hurt his hand as well. No matter, you did it. What? I thought I picked every wrong option and somehow we ended up with victory. We've just broken his leg. Like, look at that thing. That's snapped. Like, it's gone. That arm's probably dead too. Those glasses are shattered. Hell, even his horn's broken. And this is victory. Huh. He may be a masochist. Yeah, this is me right now. Confused as all fuck. I can say fuck. This game said fuck. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. We're already demonetized. Okay, so let's see how we fail with this guy. Can we fail with this guy? Wait, no! I fucked up. I fucked up. I accidentally clicked that I'm interested in spaceships. No, wait, I clicked that I'm not interested in spaceships and he got excited. See, I thought he was interested in spaceships, but apparently not. I got fucked. Luminary of the stars. Tell him you love spaceflight. Well then, we are in total agreement. Two kindred spirits traveling hand in hand in a glorious yet inevitable future of conscripted service in space. Which is, as I've already made clear, I think I most definitely positively desire. So it seems we have nothing more to discuss. Toodaloo. Okay, this is a lesson. Don't pretend to be someone you're not to get someone else's approval, because this will happen. People don't like you because you try to be liked. They like you because you're interesting and different. So be yourself. That's probably the best advice. And probably hold off from showing them your porn collection for at least the first 12 years. Because that shit will scare them away. Imagine getting that ending. Tell him airplanes exist. I brought you here to show you my truth, and you treat me to mockery. An airplane, a plane that floats in the air, flying machines is serious business. I think you should leave. Wait, is that his penis? What the fuck? Oh no, that's his leg. For a second I thought his penis was like bulging out and he's confused. We are terrible people. We are terrible people. So next week, and I'm hoping that we follow this up next week because I know we have to finish Doom before Doom Eternal comes out. So we're on a little bit of a tight schedule. Next week we've got a warlock and a shit. Oh god. This is looking like Gonta. This looks like the girl from Boss Baby season 1 and 2. Oh god, Korikyu, Jesus. Sakura-chan. This looks like Mondo. Some people are more interested in you when you don't have common interests. Kuma, you're missing an ending. Oh, right. Yeah, oh, there's a third fail ending. Well, I'm guessing these fail endings are really quick, so it makes sense. Yeah, stay indoors. Tell him you're not sure about spaceflight. You guys are absolutely right. See, if it wasn't for you guys, I'd forget. Stay in the hive. You tell him the food he has in the house will be fine. Surely staying here will get you fed more quickly. No problem at all, my fine friend and fellow Pharaoh. However, I believe two kindred souls such as ourselves have more ways of communicating than mere words alone. I think I'm grasping the meaning behind your request. The signal from your transmitter is pinging my carnal orb's receiver. I can see what you're truly after is food for their soul. Oh god. You definitely meant food for the body. You look for an opening where you might gently correct your new buddy, but he seems to be working himself up to say a lot more things. The delectable nutrition of what a troll's truest being craves. The sustenance of thought, of imagination, of desire. That which nourishes the self better than the finest grub noodles. Art, passion, science. You must have a hankering to see my flying machine design sketches. Despite your troubles, you can't help but think his enthusiasm is kind of sweet. You'd nod weakly. You make one last attempt, indicating that food might strengthen you to fully appreciate his work. No need to worry, I am fully confident in your ability to take in my glorious blueprints. You have shown yourself to be quite the sturdy noggin and a discerning ganderbulb. I would welcome your input. Warmth blooms in your stomach. It feels nice to hear him compliment you. You're not sure what you've actually done to earn his praise, but you definitely don't want to ruin this now. Don't show him your porn collection, but if porn sites leak everyone's browsing histories, everyone watches porn gets equally fucked. You know what would be funny? If everyone's browsing history gets leaked, everyone's going to be interested in looking in everyone else's browsing history. And it's just going to turn into a clusterfuck of fuckery. It's like, if one person's naked in public, you know, it's weird. If everyone's suddenly naked in public, it's like... You know what I mean? Maybe seeing his designs will be fun, even on an empty stomach. Maybe it really will nourish you on a level that will help you forget about the prosaic, earthly nourishment you thought you wanted. You tell him you're in. Not so fast. That which I am planning to reveal to you is what I keep closest to my torso pillar. It's not that I don't trust you, my footloose and horn-free cohort, but I think I would like to trust you a little more before viscating myself, and displaying my bleeding organs before your penetrating gaze, which is a metaphor for exposing my portfolio and not my penis. Might I trouble you to participate in a small trust trial? No problemo, you tell him. Your butt insists you make yourself comfortable while he gets a few supplies. After a few minutes, he returns with a fistful of fabrics in different colors. Here's what's been bouncing around my old brain box of mine, buddy-o. I'm going to tie this blindfold around your face. Oh my god, no. No! No! It is the penis! Then I'm going to give you some instruction. No! No! And you're going to try to locate the case where I keep my treasured sketches. If you can find it, it's going to mean we trust each other deeply. Like two wings working in unison to achieve liftoff. If that's how wings work, I'm still figuring out the principles of that matter. What a rump. Are you up for it? It's too late to turn back now, and really, you don't want to. It's kind of a relief to have him tell you what to do to earn his friendship in plain terms. Well, as plain as this guy's terms ever get. You give him a thumbs up. Now we're on the trolley. Oh boy. He quickly ties the fabric around your face. The time is upon us. Time for the inaugural flight of our deepening bond. Time to nudge our fleeting companionship out of the nest and see what happens. A new friend starts to distract you around the room. Direct you. To the left. No, my left. Okay, sorry, I meant your left. Now onwards to the glorious future that lies before us. You smile weakly, doing your best to follow his instructions. He seems happy, so you must be getting somewhere. Almost to the doorway. 3 steps forward if you be so... Wait! Crash. You stagger backwards from impact. You hear yourself wheeze. The shock totally knocked your lungs out of commission. Your chest jerks in tiny contractions as you gasp for air. Oh, beans. Ding dong, darn it. There's no pain, just an intense pressure focused on the right center of your face. right where you ran into something face first. You pull out the blindfold and you hear footsteps, which probably means your new friend is rushing over to help. He gets the blindfold untied and his face swims into your vision. He looks utterly gobsmacked. Why, I'll be a horn beast's grub food. Everything quadrupathic, new pal? You put your hand to your face and touch something wet. Sure, well, when you pull your fingers away, you're covered in blood. Your nose isn't gushing or anything, just sending out a couple of rivituals and let you know it's having a bad day. It's not so bad. You tell your acquaintance this, but he doesn't look any less horrified. Shivering struck cumuli. All this time I've been testing you to see if I could place the tender gift of trust in your declawed little hands. And here you've bestowed upon me the greatest trust of all, knowledge of your non-standard hematological attributes. I am truly honored, flabbergasted, absolutely pushed to the brink of rationality by such a display of faith. Never mind the trust trial, you deserve to see my sketches. Just wait here. Be back in 2 shakes of a baby Bob Beats hindquarters. You sit down on the floor again, wiping the blood off your face. You're not going to question the stroke of luck you've been shown. Why, if you knew bleeding was the key to this affection all along, you could have encouraged some blood from the sites to your multiple injuries. But no matter, you sniff the last of the blood back into your nostrils. Tasting metal at the back of your throat. When your almost friend returns, he drags a big stack of papers onto your lap. You page through the designs. And the first few are rudimentary, mostly variations on spaceships with little notes like, how do you make it not reach escape velocity, and less jet fuel. Shape could be less aerodynamic. But as you keep going, designs get pretty interesting. One seems to rely on some big rotating snails to achieve lift. Another shows a light frame body attached to 4 jointed wings. You briefly wonder what he plans to make the wings out of before you see the note stating that these are dragon wings. A follow-up scribble states, flapping mechanism, how to achieve rigor mortis. But hang on, you take a closer look at the machine's frame. This guy's sketch is pretty detailed. The frame doesn't seem to be made of wood or aluminium as you expected, but smaller individual shapes lashed together with a kind of cord. Maybe it's just a macabre aesthetic, but you think it looks like bones. You look back at the other designs. Now that you look at it, the snail and this one have a texture that might be leather or similar. The sketches themselves are picked out in a variety of colors, not dissimilar to the kind of new blood colors you've discovered recently. Oh boy, you've been down this creepy alien route before. Using your lightest, most jocular tone, you question the bone shapes. You soften your words with a big, not freaked out smile. What's that? Well, I'm not a construction professional, you know. Gotta make use of what's available. Only culled low bloods and grubs, of course. Not an ounce of insurrectional spirit in this fellow over here. Fear not, unhorned one. These wacky cultural differences. You just misunderstood. You take refuge in your old standby of nodding and smiling. It's none of your business what body parts this fellow uses or doesn't use to make Wright Brothers transformative fan works. Friends aren't for judging people's use of corpses as construction material anyway. You know, when you crash landed on my planet, I had no idea what to think. Vicari, old boy, you've really shot the balls now, that's what I told myself. Telling an alien about your flying dreams, that's ruffled a kitty and no doubt about it. But now that you're here and you're having a looky-loo at my sketches, I'm thinking you might have been right for us to meet all along. Perhaps the work of capricious Madame Destiny. Surely he's about to say that you are friends. You can almost taste those sweet friendship-affirming syllables coming from his mouth. You are just seconds away from the coveted F-word. Locker room rule number 2. If the balls don't touch, you're doing it wrong. What? Locker room rule number 1. If everyone smells, nobody smells. Or are you, maybe you've constructed everything. You look back down at the sketches. Bones in this one, bones in that one. He says these plans call for the bones of aliens like him, at least if you understood that correctly. But they don't really look different from, well, the bones you're more familiar with, your own bones. Your bones, which could have already gone through a lot today, and maybe seem to be kind of harvestable condition, if one does it correctly. You clear your throat, haha, you say. That's not in the market for these materials right now, is he? Like, right now? The friendly guy doesn't understand your question. You're not going to push it, but you do risk a quick glance at yourself, then back at him, then back at yourself, then back at him, just to see if he's checking the stuff out, so to speak. When you look back at him, he looks aghast. Heavens to biscuits. Is that what you think of me? You think I'm the type to start taking people's body parts all hiddly-biggly, as if they aren't plenty of thoughtless, discarded ribcages to work with? If that's the type of gent you're looking for in these parts, I'm afraid I'm not the type of aggressive heartthrob you're after. We can't all be the macho, bloodthirsty, romantic hero type, ready to whip out our organ harvesting tools at a moment's notice. I thought we could be friends, but now I see we're looking for something different. My apologies, I think. I think it's best for you to go elsewhere. You want to correct the misunderstanding, but you're not fully sure what the misunderstanding is. This guy doesn't seem to be in any mood for friendship right now. You hang your head. Looks like this was all just one big waste of time. This is me right now. Wow. 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 Next week, we'll see how we go with Doom, because we got to get Doom finished before Doom Eternal. I got to start editing out these LP parts. Sorry, I'm still processing the body part flying machine. And I got the good ending first out of pure luck, right? What can I say? Such an interesting guy. So yeah, next week we'll see how we go with Doom, because we need to finish up Doom before Doom Eternal comes out. And then we've got Persona coming. We've got also Final Fantasy VII Remake. We've already hit the donation goal for Final Fantasy VII Doom. We're currently doing the donation goal for Persona 5 Royale, which hopefully we'll hit by then. And then we've got The Last of Us after that. And then we've got Cyberpunk 2077. I got the computer covered because thanks to all the sponsors and everyone, I've had to not worry about computer parts. When the graphics card failed, Matt was kind enough to buy us a new graphics card. And you guys were kind enough to donate. And so I've had enough money to not have to worry about computer parts. So now when it came time to building a new computer, I could save enough for it. So I really thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. So we're going to have a new computer that's bigger, stronger, better than the current one. And I'm just going to make sure it's set up the right way so we can stream. So we'll figure out what next week's streams are, because we got to focus down the new releases on their opening weekends. I'm going to see if I can get like a day of unpaid leave or 2 days of unpaid leave for all the new launches, so we can stream 3-4 days in a row, because my Monday is your Sunday. So if I get an extra day off, that means you get an extra thing so far. What I think of Friendsim so far, definitely very interesting character. Same as what I said at the end of the last character. They're very unique. At the beginning, I was apprehensive because it wasn't voiced, but now reading it myself is sort of an advantage in that we can create the voice and we can meme the character out however we like, which I'm starting to like more and more. I never thought I would become a fan of text-based games. By the way, don't go anywhere, because we're actually going to do some reactions after this. So I'm actually becoming a fan of text-based games because I'm able to do voices now. And I'm only able to do voices because of games like this. So we're creating voices that we can use for other games, and it's becoming crazy. We've got half a dozen voices now, and we had 3 voices like last year. So it's turning into a banquet of voices. So I'm enjoying it so far. The world is very weird. Very weird. And we did watch Homestuck, and that was weird as shit last week. I don't know if you guys recall. Career in voice acting. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if our channel grows big enough, who knows? We'll see. I guess streaming is a sort of career in a way, if we can get there. It's very tough, but I'm feeling that we should do, because we have a few people interested, maybe we should do a little bit of anime. I know Hachan was reacting to Spice and Wolf during the week. I think she's done 3 episodes. I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm interested in rewatching it. So I wanted to see if you guys were interested in watching that now as a reaction, because as you can hear, my voice is now starting to, get strained. So if you guys wanted to react to 1 or 2 episodes of that, and then I can upload Hachan's reactions to Patreon. I can upload my ones to Patreon. You guys are asking for JoJo. I do have the first season of JoJo. So we can do that if you guys really want to. If you guys really quickly want to post on Discord. So yeah, we can either do Spice and Wolf, because Hutchins reacted to it as well, or we can do 1 or 2 episodes of JoJo. So whatever you guys prefer, let me know. But either way, we're going to have to do it on the Twitch and the Mixer, because YouTube will fuck us like a 7-4. Oh, we didn't finish Log Horizon. We can also do Log Horizon Abridged if you guys want. But we'll have to do it on the Mixer or the Twitch. So I am going to give you guys the Twitch link. Twitch Ninja Kuma. For those guys watching the replay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you next week. For those guys that are watching now, head over to the Twitch and we will do some reactions. Link is in the chat, and when you go over to the Twitch, make sure you hit that follow. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you very much for donating this game to us. I very much appreciate it. I was a little bit like, what the fuck is this game at the beginning? But now it's turning out to be very, very good. It's very good. Especially with all the memes we get out of it. So it's a very fun game. Final Fantasy VII won't be that long at launch. It's in episodes now. Well, that's good. Like I mentioned, because we've got sponsors now, and I'm getting a little bit of leftover money when it comes from bills. I'm gonna take like a few days of unpaid leave at the launch of these games. So 1 or 2 days of not getting paid, that's fine. So we could stream an extra day or 2. So the plan is, if it's possible at all, we will get up until the point where Final Fantasy VII Remake is released to at launch. I don't know how long that will be, but we'll stream for 3-4 days. We'll stream Doom Eternal on launch 3-4 days, and we'll stream Persona 5 Royale for 3-4 days. So we're gonna have a buffet of streams, which is gonna be awesome. So yeah, I hope you guys will join me for that. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously. Hit the little bell icon so you get the notification when a new event is made or when we go live. And make sure you join the Discord, because that's where we hang out. But if you don't use Discord, follow me on Twitter, because I will always post when we are about to go live, as well as what we're doing in the upcoming weekend. And I also, make day-to-day posts there. I tweet people, I post shit, I chat with bloody everyone. We've got Yoko Taro following us. We've got DC Douglas following us. We've got who's the I forget her name, the voice for Kaede, the voice for 2B. We're actually tweeting back and forth with some really interesting people. So the amazing power of social media. So yeah, I hope you do that. All right, I see more and more people heading over to the Twitch. So let's end it here on YouTube. I will see you guys on Twitch. If you guys want to see the reaction videos that we're doing on Twitch now, make sure you check out Ninja Kuma Reacts. If they're not there, then they're on the Patreon. So till next time, Ninja Kuma out. Bye.